So real quick before you start watching, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, and that is if you see any weird cuts in the podcast, that's because the ape had to go and do a few errands in between. So instead of me and the bear going on by ourselves, we decided to wait for him. And so we have three different chunks. Chunk 1 and 2 are the atypical format, if you will, with the Discord overlay. And part 3, we kind of wanted to try something a little bit different with some gameplay footage. For some reason, it's not showing up right here. But we were playing Mordhau in the background just to keep ourselves a little bit more entertained. So I just wanted to let you guys know that before you got started, and I hope you enjoy. Crab Cult episode 2. Anyone want to start off with any topics?
I had a topic on mine. I had a hypothetical.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So, you get the girl of your dreams.
Doesn't exist.
Right? Exactly. But she does. Perfect girl for you. But she has to pay you once.
What do you mean by she has to pay me once?
Peg you.
Oh, peg.
Oh, peg me?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
Not for the girl of your dreams?
Bro, hell no. Have you seen how big those pegging dildos are, bro? Fuck that.
I mean, if it's just once.
If it's just once and she doesn't remember it, only you remember it.
That's fine.
That's worse, though. I feel like it's worse remembering it. I don't want to remember it.
You just put it into the corner of your mind where you put your deep fears. You just put it in that corner and you don't talk about it.
See, I'm with Drew on this. I would definitely do that in a heartbeat.
Oh.
Like, all right.
No.
It's fine. You wouldn't do it.
No. I'm going to be honest, no.
Well, why not?
Out of fear of too much enjoyment.
Oh.
I don't agree. You liked it.
No, like, I don't like taking the Hershey Highway. That's not what it's made for. It's not made to have things going in. It's made for things to come out, not for going in.
Well, technically, it wasn't made for anything. It was evolved to do a specific thing. So it doesn't have a specific...
I hate you and your technically bullshit.
I want to reach through and strangle you right now. Like,
no, I just hate it when people are like, humans were specifically made to do one thing. And
Drew, we were made by evolution.
No,
yeah,
human evolution doesn't make anything. Evolution has no concept of... evolution is not a sentient force. Literally, it's just your body adapting to the situation.
And now let me raise you this. Does it not make you into something different?
Yeah, it makes you into something different. But
okay, I rest my case. You got made by evolution. Now shut the fuck up.
I mean, he's not wrong. Evolution did make humans they are today.
Yes, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just hate it when people are like, "Oh, humans are perfectly suited in every way to their environments," and I'm like, "No."
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Not.
I mean, I could completely agree with that. We're not perfectly suited.
But I've honestly never heard anyone say that.
Well, then you've never actually had to debate a creationist. Because Lord in heaven, do they just like look at science and go, not gonna take any of that?
Drew, it's because they're religious people. Like that's
Yeah.
obviously they're not gonna take science.
Well, yeah, but you
can
be religious and still have scientific.
Religion. Well, yeah, but you're still like you're kind of like judging people on their beliefs. It's like a two-way street with them judging you based off of your scientific beliefs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
I think that's not a very productive way to have a conversation, you know?
Yeah, but like my thing is, if they're not willing to acknowledge the immense amount of scientific evidence, then the conversation's already off to a bad start.
Yeah.
True.
Because they're not going to accept evidence in the first place.
We talked about this on our first Grabcast, which was that
lost
people.
To the void.
Well,
Wait, was that
it's just people refuse to change their ideals, and they refuse to look outside of their box that they live in.
Like when I was younger, I wholeheartedly believed in religion. But as information was not given to me for the sheer fact that we don't talk about that, I went to other sources, and the other sources had explanations.
I don't know.
Simple.
I think that there's a certain like type of person that finds peace in not knowing, if that makes sense. Like with
Yeah.
religion, there are answers that you might not like. Well, I don't know if that's like the right way to phrase it, but you know what I mean. There are certain things out there that people might not like necessarily agree with,
Well,
and
it's either that or they
religions.
don't want to. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think it's that they don't want to come to terms with the fact. Well, not the fact. I mean, in my opinion, the fact. I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
people what to believe. Well, I would like them to believe something different, but I'm not going to. That's anyway. Like that you don't have a purpose. Like humans weren't like put here with a purpose. Our only purpose
Yeah.
is to survive and
And
procreate.
that's a good thing for religion to have, is it makes people feel like that they have
Yeah.
a goal or a meaning in life, as opposed to just random happenstance. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a very religious person, but I do believe in like a creator. I do believe that
Yeah.
there was some sort of force out there that made shit, but I don't necessarily believe it being God. I think God is just a random, kind of like Full Metal Alchemist in a sense, how it's just a thing.
Yeah. Well, and like
Um,
so. Sorry.
I was just going to talk about what my personal opinion on that subject is. I will never dispute the fact there could be a god or omnipotent being out there. We don't know,
Well,
but
sorry.
I just don't believe in it, and I won't fight someone for believing in it. It's their choice.
I like to mix science and kind of like a religious belief. Like I like to think about, for like example, like in Genesis, how it says in those 7 days God created everything. How long is 7 days to God? Because to God, 7 days might be a millennia. You
Well,
know?
and I agree with that. But the other issue is that if you're going to take one part of the Bible and try to equate it to scientific evidence, then you should at least try to do other things.
I'm
But a
gonna be
lot of the Bible.
Sorry,
Huh?
real quick. I think the Bible is like 90% bullshit. I think it's
Okay,
just
all right.
ideals.
Well, and that's the thing is that a lot of people try to take. This leads into my conspiracy theory that we were going to talk about. But with a lot of the evidence that people use for young Earth creationism, which is the conspiracy theory that I was going to go with, is that they look at the Bible and they believe that it's inerrant, that there is what in the Bible said happened.
Right.
And the issue with that is we have evidence that, first off, let me grab Genesis for you. Genesis 1. Let's see what they say happened first. And okay, and so how could? Sorry. Okay, continue. I have to read this real quick. Go on something else.
I like to think of religion with a bit of science behind it. I don't believe particularly well. So the way I think of God is kind of like sort of like, the only way I can describe it is like the Alan Watts's like philosophy that like God is just energy, that it's just a filling inside of people, if you will. Like it's honestly, they touch upon it in the Stormlight books that I really like how the author does it, where capital G God was some bro named Honor, and he lives on inside of everyone. Everyone has honor inside of them. And that's like I kind of like that idea. I like the idea of like everybody's soul is like a portion of God, if you will, and that's where people get their morality and yada yada. But I don't believe in all the like heaven and hell bullshit. I don't think that there's anything after death. I think we just go away. Jeremy, why are
So,
you muted?
anyway,
Sorry,
um,
I was talking to me, Madre, about something.
so and I don't. I'm not mad at people who use it as, or I'm not. I'm fine with people using it as their way to explain how they fit in the world. But I get mad when people try to legislate and kind of like people who try to get rid of or who try to enforce teaching creationism in
Yeah.
church. Like if you want to be religious and like have a religious thing outside of school, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to tell you how to
So when you said teaching it in church, you meant teaching it in school.
teaching in school. Sorry, yes, that's what I meant to say.
Okay. I
Mixed up
just
my
wanted
words.
the clarification.
Yeah. First off, I don't think that the Mormon Church should have seminary inside the school, which
So that's actually not the case at all. So let me clarify that for you because you've never went to seminary inside of Utah, which is like really one of the only states that ever does that. The way seminary works in Utah is that you have a free period, and that free period is basically the same thing as work release. So you could just go home. There's nothing to stop you from just leaving. There's no like attendance or anything that the seminary teachers could do. They have a building right next to the school for convenience purposes only. So
well,
it's
and so
not
my
like it. You don't get credit for it. You don't get anything for it. It's literally just a void period.
but I don't think they should be taking time away from school to teach religion because that's an issue with separation of church and state because you're taking time away from their state-sanctioned church to teach religion.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because it's an optional thing. Like for example, I didn't go to seminary. I took that opportunity to go smoke weed at the church that it was right next to.
Well, yeah,
And I never got in trouble for skipping that. That was a free period for me. My dad literally signed me up for seminary to skip. Like he told me straight up. He's like, if you don't want to go to this, then this is a free period for you to go do whatever the fuck you want.
and I understand that, but my thing is, if they want to have seminary, why not just do it before school? That's what I did out in Maryland. That's what literally everyone outside of Utah does. Is do it right
Convenience.
before school.
You can do it still in Utah. You could wake up at 5 o'clock like people do around the country to go to seminary, but it's a convenience purpose. Like it's just straight up for convenience.
I don't know.
I think you're kind of looking at that with kind of like vilified eyes. Well, not vilified, but venomous.
Well, I just don't think that the church, the school, the legal system should give them any ground. Like, well, not any ground. That's the wrong word. Any I don't know.
But the people opt into it. Like it's an option that the people wanted.
But the thing is with that is the parents a lot of the time will make the kids sign up for it though and make them go.
And,
yeah, it's not the student's choice; it's the parents' choice.
And then guess what? The students don't have to go to it because the seminary teachers don't take attendance. They don't. Are you kidding me, dude? They don't. I never once did the teacher call my dad and be like, "Hey, your son's not coming to school or coming to seminary." Because that's.
But it could be different with the
different
parents who
teachers.
want them to be there.
Well, that's a fault with your parents. That's not really a fault with state and religion. That's an argument about your parents being cunts.
Fair enough.
Like that's a problem I have with religious folk is that they pressure their kids way too hard into religion.
Yeah.
Like you see it a lot with like a lot of our cousins, Drew. Yeah. Is that like a lot of our cousins have been forced into religion so hard that they just left. That they were like, no.
The only reason I ever went to church was because mom and dad were like, "Hey, you're going to church," and I was like, "Can I not?" And they're like, "Nope, you're going to church."
Yeah, same here.
It's like,
Same here. If I didn't want to go to church, all my gaming consoles would be locked up into the gun safe, and I would have to sit next to my dad and watch whatever show he was watching to stay entertained.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go with that thought.
I think parents should not be forcing their ideals onto children.
No, I think they should be like. What they should do is so. My Aunt Katie, she has a mixed family. Not when I mean mixed, I mean
mixed ideals. I know what you mean.
Mixed ideals, and she's divorced, and her new husband is divorced. So, but what she does is because she likes to go to church, and so every Sunday she'll ask the kids, "Hey, do any of you want to go to church?" And if they do, she takes the kids who want to go to church. Even if she so if she doesn't want to go to church that day, but her kids do, she'll drive them to church and drop them off. And that's how I think you should handle religion.
That's a very chill approach that 90% of fanatics don't take. And it's not just Mormonism. It's the same thing in Catholic and Baptists and yada yada.
We'll focus on Mormonism on this podcast, but that's just because it's the most prominent religion where we live.
Well, and it's also the one we have firsthand experience with.
And we all are at least ex-Mormons, to my knowledge.
Yep.
I haven't got my names removed yet. My name.
My name's still there, but
you have to specifically go there and get your name removed. They won't just do it.
It's a tedious process, but
specifically so they can keep their numbers inflated.
I keep getting emails from like the stake president, like trying to tell me all this shit, and I always send him fuck off.
I got a call from the missionaries the other day, and they were like, "Do you think there's any time we could come to talk to you?" I'm like, "No."
I guess I
We
might
can-
not actually be on the list, though, to be honest, because I don't get calls or emails or anything.
Well, I
Well,
only got
so-
calls because I signed up for the school's church thing because my parents did back in college. So, and I know people who have like one of the people I watch. He's an atheist and he does a lot of stuff on the church. Like he has outspokenly gone against the church, like on YouTube, and like they still haven't removed him. And he's got like a couple million subscribers.
It's actually really hard to get your name removed from the
like
church.
you have to. There's even a. I can't remember the name of the organization, but there's an organization that will like. There has to be an outside organization that will fight to get your name removed.
Well, what I
It's that
mean is
difficult.
like to actually like get excommunicated from the church. It's like
Yeah.
really fucking hard to do.
One of the only ways I know off the top of my head is to basically just like
Infidelity.
go on. Yeah, well, infidelity and like go inside a church building and like start ranting against the church.
That's another good way to do it. I really thought about doing that of going to church and asking the bishop to like let me go up to talk, just so that way I can start like
Just
dropping
go on
bombshells.
Fast Sunday for their
Oh yeah, and
testimony
then
meeting.
go up and do a testimony. So I'd like to bear my testimony that this church is a load of horseshit and that Joseph Smith is nothing but a radical scam artist. So that's actually one of the biggest reasons that I fell away from the church is that I heard about Joseph Smith, like him having like a bunch of different court hearings and shit before he even like founded the church. That he was going around telling people that he has a magic hat that shows them buried treasure, and they have to pay him like $100 for him to go and lead them out to the treasure. And then he would just like leave them in the woods and then dip.
What was your deconversion story, Jeremy?
I
What-
just what?
What really like just turned you and said, this shit ain't just straight up.
It was just coming of age, like when I was like 14 or something. I started looking to outside sources and stuff. Like
It's about
my
around the
parents
age I
were
was.
pretty loose about church and stuff, and which I'm grateful about. But I just got to that age or like 14, and then looked for outside sources and found my own way
You're
of
just
what I
kind of
wanted
like,
to
all right, I'm out.
So I don't exactly my dad like really forced me into Mormonism when I was younger, and then once my parents got divorced, we just kind of stopped going to church altogether. And like I still had like the ideals, I still had the belief and all of that up until I heard some shit about Joseph Smith and all of that, and I was like, oh okay. And then I kind of like it kind of dawned on me, but I don't know why my dad stopped going. I'm actually really curious about that. I want like that's one of the things I wish I would have found out before he died. It was like
So
what
not to like speak for your dad, but one of the common reasons is that he probably didn't get much help during the divorce from the
I would
church,
assume. That's
'cause
one
they
of the
probably assumed him the aggressor.
That's one of the big reasons that I didn't. That's another reason that I fell away from the church is that they like blatantly sided with my mother.
Yeah.
Which I don't know the full story of what happened in that, but
Specifically, the first time I can remember thinking the church was a load of crap was when they were like, so you're going to bear a testimony today? And I was like, what's a testimony? And they're like, well, it's just what you believe. And so they were like, a good one is to talk about Joseph Smith. And I was like, well, how do we know that Joseph Smith wasn't like a con man or anything? Like, well, do you really think he'd get tarred and feathered for it? And I'm like,
yeah.
mm,
Like, yes. That's
Pretty
kind of
much.
what happened to criminals back then.
yeah.
See, that's one thing I hate about like trying to have a conversation with religious people. They have such bad confirmation bias. Like,
Well, and another thing, I was like, couldn't he have just been insane? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like,
and you guys don't have a problem with that?
that's a much more logical explanation than spirit came out of the sky and went, knowledge, child. And then Satan came up and went, and tried to eat his booty hole. Like, that's not what happened.
I had a conversation with one of my coworkers about the whole Nephites and Lamanites and all that shit. And I was like, yo, dude, there's like zero record of there ever being people of Jewish descent in South America. And he was like, how do you, it was never clearly said that they were in the Americas. And I sat there for a second, and I'm like, didn't they travel on like a massive, like, little submarine thingy with magic, sparkly rocks? Like, did they just go up coast?
There was 2 voyages. So they are putting forth that not only did one group of people who couldn't build a boat and go over, but 2 groups of people built a boat and went over. So there was the Nephites and the Lamanites, the one we all know about, and then there was someone like
the Jacobs.
Yeah,
It was something Jacobs. I read a lot of stuff on it.
But that was like 100, 200 years before that, and they built like legit submarines out of wood.
Yeah, and one so I talked to my that coworker about it, and I was like, so they were in a submarine, right? And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, they were submerged the whole time, and he's like, yeah, from what we understand, they were submerged the whole time, and I'm like, how did they not die of asphyxiation? Like, you have nothing to replenish your oxygen in there. And he's like, God, that's how Jesus gave the power of oxygen in there. Those magic glowing rocks replenished all of the oxygen for them. And I'm like,
It's like, well, then why didn't he just teleport them there?
Exactly. I'm like, so, like, God's willing to, like, give them an infinite source of oxygen in these tiny little submarine things, yet he's not able to teleport them or just move them. But regardless, I went on the rant about how like, because the Lamanites and Nephites had steel. Like, in the Bible, they clearly had steel. They talk about it.
Nephite steel bow.
Yeah.
Nephi.
And they and the dude's like, well, there was only the one sword. That could have just been a gift from God. And I'm like, no. There's literally chapters on it talking about they're still working. And how they had horses in the Americas, too.
And I love people who are like, well, they all died, so you can't see anymore. And I'm like...
But there would be a fossil record.
That's what I said. Do you see this fossil? So, yeah, do you see these
That's
ancient
Satan.
tools?
But yeah, no, the fossils were planted there as a gift from Satan.
Oh, my parents. I was talking with my sister the other day, and she awokened an ancient memory of mine. So my parents believe that the dinosaurs were magically put here when God was making the earth.
I had a conversation like that with your mom and grandma, like, together. Like, I don't remember exactly how we got onto the topic, but your mom, like, I love your mom to death, sweetest lady ever, but she was like, I think they were put here as a test, and I was like, yo, what?
Yeah, it's just like, at this point, and that's the problem with a lot of people who are this heavily religious. Like, you're not gonna convince them.
There's no way of talking them down that ledge.
The thing is I don't really know if we should, because at this point it's such an integral part of their
it would probably destroy them.
Yeah, and it's like the reason it didn't affect us is because we kind of grew up in the age when religion was kind of falling out of fashion.
Yeah, we grew up questioning.
We learned to deal with life without religion,
and we didn't go on a mission and get indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Oh, so one of the people I used to work with, he just went on a mission.
I'll be right back.
Really good dude.
Really I need to go grab something for my truck.
Okay. But he went on his mission, and all he posts about and all he emails about is about God.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's all he talks about.
Well, another thing that I find, yeah, if it's what they like to do, then, but like, another thing that's pretty funny is they have a lot of problems with gay, like, because when you lock up 2 men in the same room for half a year by themselves as they're 18, they're gonna get curious. They're gonna figure out, hey, does this work? And and in the Mormon religion, that's like a massive no-no. Like, yeah. So if a Mormon ever tells you that, oh, we accept gay people, we just don't like them to be part of the religion, basically they're saying we're doing the most we can to not hate gay people, but we still kind of hate them. Well,
it's like, I was talking the same dude. We were at work, and like I said, he's a good guy, but blinded. Mm-hmm. We were talking about it. He's like, yeah, did you hear or I said, yeah, they finally made gay marriage legal in Utah, and he's like, yeah, but I still don't want them to get married in the temple or the church. He's like, why not? He's like, because it's against the Bible and it's against the church. It's like, but hundreds of years before, it was against the church to have a black person into the church.
I know you love the whole thing of, oh, it's okay to have black people now around in the 80s or 90s, whenever the fuck it was.
You know
We're
what's the
talking
most-
about how they're against gay marriage in the churches now, but
They're saying, "Oh, we accept them. They just can't practice their
But it's okay.
sin."
God can randomly change his mind. Didn't you know that? God is just fickle. He just,
but like
You like
That's-
boys? No, not anymore. You don't.
he
You like
he got,
girls? Mm-mm.
he got so flustered with me saying that and just kind of dropped the topic, and I was like, I wanted to debate this with you, but you don't want to talk about it.
I hate debating things with religious people because like there's no reason. Like there's no logic behind their statements.
Like with me in the seminary thing, I believed that they had like a class inside the school for seminary, and then you showed me evidence to the contrary, and I changed my beliefs. That's how logical people deal with new information: is they accept it, analyze it, and get the inputted evidence, and then make a decision based on its truthfulness.
That's how humans should work, but that's not how we do work.
No, that's because a lot of people have these things called emotions, which kind of suck to deal with.
Fair. But it's like
You know,
the perfect example is last night's debate. Like, instead of actually debating topics, Trump just went for insults and went after these so-called facts about Joe Biden and all that. But
Did you actually watch it all? Because that's not true at all. Because Joe Biden did a lot more insulting than Trump did. Like I watched the entirety of it, and Biden, like, he did not answer a single, like, he didn't hardly answered any question. If there was a question that would have been a difficult one, you know, something that he didn't really want to answer, he didn't answer. Meanwhile, Trump actually like answered a lot of shit. Biden just skirted around everything.
I'm just gonna say I think we should stray away from politics because that's just too polarizing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying either one of you are wrong. I'm just saying that I think that it's a very easy way to get into arguments that are productive.
We're both centrists. We don't side with either side, though.
I just think, so from what I'm actually going to keep talking about it. From because I watched the entirety of the thing, and 90% of it was Trump's he needs to like shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
But Biden was saying a lot of false shit, and every time he was saying the false shit, Trump was trying to like clarify. He was like, "No, that's not how that happened," and that just caused more and more problems. But I don't know. Biden, there were a few questions that Trump asked, and Biden just like skirted around them. Didn't even try to like say anything about it. And then the left, at one point, Biden was like, well, how come you haven't denounced white supremacists and all of that? And the left was saying that Trump didn't even try answering the question when the whole time he was like, who do I need to condemn? Like, who do you want me to condemn? Give me a name, I'll condemn them. And then the moderator just moved the topic on. And like he was trying to do that. And the left's just like, oh, Trump's an anti-Semitic. Or not anti-Semitic. He's a white power racist. And it's like, no, he couldn't answer the question. Like he wasn't allowed to answer the question.
But I mean, to be fair, he could have just said yes and been done with it. Like,
Well,
if they say,
so
do you condemn white supremacists? You could have just said, sure, yes.
You could tell that Trump was irritated, that he was flustered, and like I can kind of sympathize with how he went about that because I've been in arguments and positions like that where it's like, what the fuck do you want me to say? Like,
yeah, but like I think that you could kind of turn it against them if they're trying to gaslight you, if they're trying to go, haha, he said this.
Yeah.
And he like, you could just say, yeah, I don't support white supremacists.
He did, because at one point the moderator, he threw out a random name and he's like, I condemn them. And then they immediately just like went on, and it didn't get very much screen time.
Yeah.
But
But I think that
that was not a presidential debate at all. That was a classroom brawl.
yeah, like there
Like,
was no
It was
even from what I've seen, both sides instead of they would answer the question to the best of their wants or capabilities, and then they would turn around and debate each other's character instead of each other's positions.
that's 90% of all it was a debate on one's character. Like,
the
Trump
whole.
kept saying, like, you've been in office for 40-something years. What did you do? What did you do? Yada, yada. And it's like, all right.
What were you gonna say, Jeremy?
It just all it was just a playground argument between two guys just throwing two adult old men throwing insults at each other back and forth.
One thing that I really
And
love is that they were in one of the middle of the arguments. Biden said some shit about. I think it was about. I don't remember the topic exactly, but I think it was about the coronavirus, and he was talking about like Fauci or some shit like that, and Biden was just going off and like saying, from what I understand, was false shit about Trump telling people that Fauci was wrong and all of that, and Trump was trying to.
That's a confirmed fact. He's told people he doesn't believe in his scientific experts multiple times.
Yeah, and he actually did clarify that. But regardless, he was trying to clarify something, and Biden just like lost his shit, and he was like, "Shut up, man! Come on, just shut up!" And it's like, huh? And then immediately after that, he turns and looks at Trump, and he's like, "This is your president right now. This is your president and the man that's in charge of the country. What a presidential way to speak." And I'm like sitting there like, huh? That's kind of ironic because you just told him to shut up on live TV. That's very presidential of you.
but to be fair, he stooped to Trump, who would not shut up.
I think that's just that's something that I've definitely noticed with Trump is he doesn't
That's just his personality.
he doesn't let a moment simmer. That was something that I appreciated with a lot of the past presidents, even with the past candidates. They'll say their point of view, and then both sides will kind of wait a second, and then they'll continue.
I think a lot of people are pissed off because they got so used to. So the way I talked to a coworker about this, he clarified it like amazingly. Obama was an amazing speaker. He was very good at talking. He was just excellent at it. And Trump isn't the greatest guy at talking, like at all. He just says what the fuck's on his mind. He doesn't beat around the bush. He just like, throws it out. And then that's why I feel a lot of people are mad about it, is because they're used to having Obama, who for the past 8 years would just dance around topics, as opposed to Trump, who's just like a fucking freight truck going 900 miles an hour about to hit a fucking wall.
Yeah, and I think the issue with the way he says is he says things a lot of the times that he may or may not mean, and then goes, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that."
Yeah, and I think that's just
Because
his brain. I honestly think he has ADHD. I think he's all over the fucking place, and he doesn't like realize what he's saying.
To be honest, I don't think people over the age of like 60 should be president.
No.
I think
It's like
the age should have a cutoff as well.
Because like you're getting to the age of like, I'm not calling Donald Trump incompetent, but he has said some things that you're kind of like, what? But same thing with Biden, so I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
But it's just like you get to the age where like your mental faculties start to degrade. Like you're not, and it's like I think that the 35 start age is good, but I think like 65 to 70 should be the cutoff.
I have this is a little off topic, but this is
It's fine.
This is kind of my problem with Biden, is that I really hate it when people like change their views on shit. So like Biden was against the desegregation and all of that. He was against gay marriage and all of that. And it's like the left just doesn't even like remember that shit. It's like, do you not realize that like he was like heavily against all of that shit? Same with Hillary Clinton, and you guys are championing her, and it's like
But I do think not to their level. I do, but I do believe people are allowed to change their mind on things. Like if you held those beliefs and you realize that you were wrong, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think people
like,
can. I think. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but I think people can change like their minds. I don't think people of that age can though. I do not believe that older, because God, there was this Greek philosophy, but I can't remember the exact phrasing of it. But it was somewhere along the lines of like old people will not change. Like young people, like they're the most apt to change because they're not set in their ways. But the older you get, the more like cocksure you are of yourself, if that makes sense. And I think someone of Biden's age, where I don't think there's any changing him. Same thing with like religious zealots, you know. Continue.
We should probably get to the main topic, the conspiracy theory we each wanted to present.
I mean, we still have 3.5 hours, my guy.
Fair.
So
Fair enough.
we got time. We got time just to kind of shoot the shit.
So, do you want to stop every hour?
I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
Just recording the whole entire thing, not stop to resume?
Leroy it.
All right.
I will be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink.
All right.
Oonga boonga.
Unga bunga indeed.
How dare I be prepared?
How dare Abe not want? How dare Abe want drink?
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole entire thing about all of this is just weird, you know?
Yeah, it was very unprofessional. Like this debate was extremely unprofessional. Like I thought the Hillary and Trump one was like I thought that was bad, and then like last night as I was watching this, dude, it was so fucking cringe. Like it's like, oh my god, these are really our two candidates, and they're up here yelling at each other like a bunch of schoolgirls. Like what the fuck, man?
Well, yeah, and then another thing is that like the only footage I could see was from the ABC's point of view, and I found the Fox one eventually, but like there's no independent media outlet.
Yeah.
Like there's no media outlet that just straight up states the facts. Like even if you go to like your local, the only way you can do that is if you go to like your local hometown ones, because generally they're more.
But even
moderate.
then, for example, like Utah,
Yeah.
KTV or whatever the fuck it is, KSL, they're heavily against Trump.
Yeah. But then again, you've got Fox, who just is the exact opposite.
It sucks Trump's dick all the
Yeah.
time, and it's like, yeah, no, that's the one thing I love about YouTube though, is you can find independent people there. Definitely not in Ben Shapiro, because he'll suck off any Republican candidate.
I was talking to my sister-in-law last night about she was watching the debate too, and it's like we're talking about it, and she's listening to lots of podcasts from one side and the other, but neither side was talking about certain subjects. Like neither side brought up the fact that Joe Biden was against desegregation, was for segregation for a bit. It has quotes about it, and they also didn't bring up the fact that God, there's a fly in my face. That no one was talking about Joe Biden and his Despacito.
Oh yeah. Well, that I don't really think that's something that should have been brought up in a debate, because that's just him. Yeah, that's just him being a goofball. But I definitely think the desegregation subject should have been touched on, because like they brought up Trump's tax returns and all of that. And
like if they're gonna, I do understand that. Like if you're gonna bring up,
I kind of felt like that was a little bit of a low blow, but like at the same time, it is a good point.
Well, like my thing is that like it might be a low blow, but he kind of prided himself on being like an excellent businessman. And if like he's been bankrupt multiple times, doesn't pay his tax. I know a lot of people don't pay taxes. That's not the point. But like if he's gonna do that, and this is something that provides evidence against that, it's the same thing with Biden. He prides himself as being a pro
minority.
racial yeah. And yet there's this evidence that's like, maybe you're not. So I think that that's fair game. I do definitely think they should have brought it up, the desegregation, if they're going to bring up the tax return. Because if they didn't bring up the tax return stuff and like his bankruptcies and all of that, then I don't think that they should have brought up the desegregation, because they're not trying to dig into the past there. But
one thing that I absolutely love Trump for is that Biden was trying to make it out that Trump was like Putin's like little bitch boy. And then Trump out of nowhere was like, well, what about your son getting, $1 million from some mayor in Moscow? And that dude, Biden, like, he was like, oh, shit. Like, you could see the look on his face. He didn't know how to respond to that. And I was like, oh boy.
But I'm gonna make my same standpoint that I did during the last election, which is I don't want to vote for two evils and try to guess what joins is gonna be the lesser of two.
I'm not going to vote. I'm still not registered to vote, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, eh.
If it was stuck between two people who neither one of them I want in office, and
They're both terrible picks. I just can't believe that they chose Biden over Bernie.
Literally any of the other Democratic So I
true.
personally voted for Bernie. I'll let that. I registered as because you couldn't register as an independent in Utah, or that wasn't an option. So I just picked Democrat because I just flipped a coin at that point. And I wanted to actually vote instead of just go Trump, because literally there was no other option for the Republican side besides Trump. I find that kind of funny. Like, I'm not but like no one ran against Trump. It was hilarious.
Well, it's because
Literally,
he's the president. That's kind of like what happens a lot.
it is what happens a lot. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Like, what Democrat ran against Obama?
Lord, I'm trying to remember. There wasn't many. You do have a point. God, no, I can't think. You just.
Aha. You're talking about voting for Bernie?
Oh, yes. So, like, even Andrew Yang, he's a little out there on some of his beliefs, but like I think he would have been a better option.
Yeah.
There was so many better options, but literally, if you go back into April, it was hilarious. As soon as Bernie had the majority, he said, he asked a bunch of the candidates, would you accept my nomination if I got the most votes? And like half of them said, no, we should let the delegates decide.
Huh.
Which, if you didn't know, the Democratic Party, the delegates are kind of like the Electoral College, but they have to vote for who their constituents are. The super delegates can vote for whoever they want. And do you want to know what happened once all of the...
they all got strong-armed by Biden's people?
Well, basically what happened is that literally all of the other Democratic nominees dropped out of the race and gave all of their support to Biden within a month or two of the vote.
Huh. Sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like...
That's some House of Cards shit right there.
Especially when he was leading in the polls before that.
But let me get to something else, which is like Trump saying that he's going to run for a third term and shit. It's like,
that's
what?
Illegal.
Yeah, it's kind of sus.
You legit can't do that.
I mean, if you want to go through the Congress and like repeal an amendment, I'm fine with that. Like, you could go ahead and do that, but like at least talk about doing that. Well, it's not going to happen, obviously, but
yeah, I think that's just Trump being Trump. I think that's Trump just being the weird ass that he is.
Another thing I have an issue with is them trying to ram through a Supreme Court justice right now. So with Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying, there's an open position, and the president gets to nominate it. Now, I wouldn't have an issue with the Republicans trying to ram one through if they didn't block Obama's nominee in 2000 and whenever he was going to go out of office, 2016. That was something that they did as the thing is they like completely blocked any attempt he had to put forth the nominee. But when it's Trump's turn,
they're all going
they said
for it.
That it's okay to go because they're like, well, it's his last. He should at least get to do this when he's president. It's like, but when Obama was president, that's a different story. It's like, it's because he wasn't Republican.
Yeah, and I think it's funny on the other side that Biden was like, this is a breach of power, yada, yada. And it's like, but Obama literally did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely not a breach of power. The president can do it if he wants to.
Yeah, well, he said that, I don't remember the exact term. Hold on, I took some notes on it.
Yeah, calling it a breach of power is definitely an inaccurate statement.
With the whole Congress thing, I think we just need to start from new. We like a whole new Congress because they're all getting to the old, decrepit age, and they don't.
Congressional term limits need to be a thing. 2 terms, then you're out. Because Orrin Hatch was senator for Utah for what, half a decade?
Years?
I mean, half a century? Like 50 years?
I think it was more than that, to be honest.
Let's look it up. Let's get some hard numbers on this.
Like it's major BS that they can be in office for as long as they want, and they still have the same ideals they have when they first got into office.
So, 1977 to 2019, 42 years.
Yeah, he was the longest serving Republican in history.
Yeah, and the longest serving senator from you, well, obviously, because that's like half of America's. That's like a good quarter of America's. Yeah, never mind. That's it. Yeah.
All I'm saying is he was in office longer than my dad was alive.
Yeah, and my dad only beats him out by 5 years. 5 or 6 years.
And he was succeeded by Mitt Romney.
Yep. Yeah, I just
stupid.
Yeah, and I hate career politicians. I don't think there should be.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in there for that long.
I think it's fine if you like work your way up. Like if you start out as like a city and then you go to the state, you become a governor, and then you become a congressman. I'm fine with that type of.
If you keep moving
your
through
term.
all the different titles.
Yeah, but and I definitely don't think unless it's like a governor, a judge, certain government positions should be paid. Like certain legislative, like those should be paid. I don't think Congress should get paid as much. I definitely don't think representatives should get paid as much.
Well, the problem is that lobbyists.
Yeah.
That's where they get their money.
Yeah.
From donations.
Yeah. Lobbying should also be illegal.
Lobbying should 110% be illegal, but that's not going to happen because, how are they going to afford their campaigns? I don't know. I think the whole government system's rather sus. Oh, and if you wanted to know this, Orrin Hatch was 6'2".
What? Really?
Yeah.
It looks puny. So the average salary for a U.S. senator. Let me go. What's the 2000 is $174. You just get that from being a senator or a congressman. Just free, easy. $200,000. You're richer than like 90% of America at that point. Instantly, boom. Happy birthday. And that's on top of any companies you own, any businesses you own. That's just a little sprinkling on the top. That's another thing that I'm a little annoyed with Trump is that he was supposed to divest himself from all business ties. And they're like, well, he did. He gave them to his children. It's like, okay, I guess technically you win by a technicality. He's not in charge, but his children are in charge. But, like, the children are just going to do what he says. And then as soon as he's not president anymore, they're just going to give it right back to him all with all the extra money he earned. Like, just... Ugh.
I don't know. I don't see that as a big of a deal. Like, that doesn't bother me.
Well, no, that means that he can change the government in a way to where it directly benefits his business. And that's why the president has to diverse himself, so that's not that problem of corruption.
Yeah. Well,
because
I don't think money really corrupts him because he's already got an ass load of it.
But people who have money, what do they want more of?
True.
Money.
True. I'm just happy we don't have to deal with Jeff Bezos running for president yet.
Oh, Lord.
That's going to be fun.
God, Jeff Bezos didn't pay anything in tax last year because he's technically not a company situated in America.
Which is, like, complete bullshit.
Yeah, like, because Ireland has, like, one of the lowest business taxes, so a lot of people have their quote-unquote heads of their company in Ireland, so they count as an Irish company.
Huh, I didn't know they had it in Ireland. Ireland.
Yeah. Or, it's not Ireland. Some of them do Ireland, some of them do other companies, but basically they're just having an offshore bank account.
Yeah.
That's where they store all their money so it can't get taxed. It's just a legal offshore bank account.
I don't know. I think if your business runs in America in, like, any kind of, like, fashion, you should get taxed.
100%.
Especially considering, how, like, Amazon is, like, one of the biggest companies.
And, like, pays nothing in taxes.
Pays absolutely nothing. And yet, oh God, if I don't pay taxes, the IRS will be quick to knock on my door.
Yeah, the loan sharks will come and break my kneecaps.
It's, I don't know. IRS is another BS thing. What's going on with that?
Well, no, I actually respect the IRS. Like, actually going and collecting taxes, like, the people in the IRS I respect. The fact that the tax laws are that strict on people who have that little amount of money, that's my issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they need to be laxer on the poor and harder on the rich.
Yeah, because, like, trying to go collect $50 from a person who makes $200 a year, like,
Like
obviously
year?
that's a bad example, obviously, but like if you're collecting money from people who live in like have 6 families in the home and that's all they can afford, like what is that? What is their $100, $200, $1,000 going to do for you?
Right.
Nothing.
What's the big deal? But
Yeah.
I do like when they go after people like Wesley Snipes, for example. Like that's good.
Yeah. Oh, give me a sec. I'll be right back.
It's the fact that so many rich people get away without paying taxes is insane to me.
Yeah, it really is, because that money could be used for so much shit, but they're just like, no, we're not gonna do it. That shit's
It's
just
like
outrageous.
They're gonna hound down the poor and leave the rich to lie.
Yeah, it's like a reverse Robin Hood. They steal from the poor and give to the rich.
It's just really.
That's
weird
like
how
really
it all
the
works.
only few things that I agree with the Democratic views is the whole like taxing the fuck out of big companies. I really agree with that. Because it's shitty that like, someone like me where I'm barely making like 30 grand a year, it's like, oh, okay, I guess I just get fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool, but Jeff Bezos doesn't have to pay a dime.
Why would he?
Exactly,
It's
why
not like
would he?
he's like one of the richest people on earth.
Yeah. The richest man in America.
It's just stupid. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely positivity. Blah, blah, positively. Yes, stinks.
Sting.
Stink
I don't know,
stonks. Stonk stinks.
I legit think that we need to restart the government at this point.
Yeah, but the only way that's going to happen is if there's a civil war.
Yeah, true.
And that would do a lot of damage. There's one thing that I want to talk about real quick, and that's just like the complete bullshit of the like video game industry. Like I know that the games are kind of working on it a bit more, but one thing that I heard about that's made me lose faith is that evidently in Cyberpunk 2020 there's going to be, or sorry, 2077, there's going to be microtransactions in the multiplayer aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know how I feel about that.
From everything I've heard, it's just cosmetic stuff, though.
But personally, so I'm just gonna say my bit. I couldn't care at all because I'm only gonna play the game for single player.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm interested in the game is the RPG aspect. I couldn't care if it was a GTA knockoff. If they didn't even have multiplayer, I'd be completely fine with it. So, like, I would rather they not do microtransactions just because I don't like microtransactions.
So,
but
one thing I hope, because from what I understand, their multiplayer is just going to be like exactly GTA 5's kind of multiplayer.
Yeah, that's what at least what
system.
I've heard. Yeah.
I don't want it to be the economy to be completely fucked like Red Dead and GTA 5 on release, where it's
I don't
like
think they will because they're not nearly as money grubby as
Rockstar.
Because, like, I can remember The Witcher 3. So, first off, The Witcher 3, I never even beat the game because it was so dang long. Like, let's just get that off. I haven't finished the game.
You need to play that game, dude. It is so in depth.
So, like, first off, for 60, or I think I got it for $40. I still haven't beaten the game, and I've played, like, 20 hours into it. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's got a very in depth.
And then
story.
the DLC, which is only like $20 for both of them.
I thought the DLC just came with the game.
Oh, it might have actually. You know what? With the special, I think I bought the Ultimate Edition, and it did come with it. So,
Dude, the DLC in that game is fucking amazing. Yeah. So the Blood and Wine DLC, dude, there's a whole new world. Like there's another, like that DLC is like easy another 40, 50 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, and so when they say yes, there'll be some DLC, they're probably the one company currently that I trust to be like, all right, it'll probably just be straight cosmetic, and maybe so I could imagine them, if it's a GTA-esque, I could imagine them putting in like some sort of card shark just for people who don't want to grind for 6 hours, but I doubt they'd make it as grindy as GTA is anyway. So.
Yeah, well, the only reason Rockstar did that was to make the game last longer and also to make more money.
No.
Which I'm gonna be honest, the most fun I ever had in GTA 5 was when the whatever the hell it's called, the $1 billion glitch went around, like for killing people and getting $1 billion off of it. I loved playing the game then. It was so much fun.
Yeah, like to get $1 billion, like for me to buy the Intimidator, the space cycle,
Yeah.
it took me a couple weeks of doing all the menial tasks, and then once I got that bicycle, the game just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was like I had the most overpowered car in the game. I could literally
The
find
oppressor
someone.
or whatever, isn't that what
Yeah,
it's
the
called?
oppressor. I could find the oppressor Mark II to be exact. That's the one that like actually had flight, and not just the janky jump mechanics. I could, if someone was doing one of their missions, I could fly by, blow them up, and leave in 10 seconds, and they could do nothing about that.
Yeah, unless they had like an anti-air rocket thing.
But even then, you can outrun those things on the oppressor.
True. Well, not outrun them, but you can maneuver fairly well.
And that was my issue. Is like once you hit the top gear, there was no reason to ever get gear lower than it.
Yeah, I get. It's kind of a big power spike.
Yeah, well, and another thing that I'm liking is their gun system. So they'll have a couple types of guns. So they'll have power weapons, which are just standard firearms, black powder munitions. They'll have E-guns, which are electromagnetic rail weapons. And then they'll have smart guns, which are like the lock-on, fire and forget.
Yeah.
The really high-tech bullshit.
Like the ones from Borderlands 3, the Atlas guns, I think it was.
Yeah. Except these ones don't have to, they just shoot and they'll find the target and kill them.
Okay.
So, I really like the idea of that because it's got a different type of weapon for each person. So if you want to, feel like just a dude with a big machine gun, that's available. If you want to sit across the map and fire a sniper bullet that'll go right into someone's head without you aiming, you can do that.
So is this going to be like a Fallout type thing where you have dialogue options, or is it just straight
Yes, no, it's an RPG. It's a Witcher level RPG.
Okay, which I figured that would be the case from Cyberpunk. I was just kind of worried that it was going to be like GTA 5 where all the dialogue is scripted,
No.
you know?
No, so it's going to be Witcher 3, but you can make your own protagonist from what I've seen.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, so so the only real pinholing you'll have, you know how with The Witcher you were pinholed into playing Geralt.
Yeah.
The only pinholing is the three choices.
Which
three starting choices, which is what I've gone over before, which is
Yeah.
a great idea in my opinion.
I actually really like games like Mass Effect and The Witcher where there's like a preset character to play.
I like that, but I also like playing games like Skyrim where it's my character.
Yeah. In Skyrim that's cool because it's you get to have your own diversity. But like Fallout 4, I never changed the character's face because you have that regular voice in the background, you know?
And I don't know if V is voiced, who is the name, the sole survivor.
Yeah.
I don't know if V is voiced.
I would prefer it if he wasn't.
Yeah,
she,
I'm going to be honest, it was cool when we were 10,000 voice lines for Fallout 4, but it's the first playthrough I play as an 8. Second playthrough I play as a black guy. They have the exact same voice.
Yeah, and it's oh.
Whereas Fallout 4 or a Fallout, either any other game with a
any other
non-voiced
Fallout
protagonist, it's I'm Jeffrey McGee, the dwarf who wields a shotgun.
And that's one thing I really disliked about Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition is that they changed to the voiced protagonist, which I don't. In Dragon Age,
unless the character is a specific character like Geralt or Shepard, then I like a voiced protagonist because it gives them their own.
They did do that in the Dragon Age 2 because it was Hawk. That's what the dude's name was just Hawk. But I didn't like it so much in Inquisition because you had a lot better character customization, but you still had the same shitty voice.
Yeah.
If they do that, I want to have 4 different voice actors that I could choose from.
And from what I've seen, I think there's even a thing that you know how there's gangs in what's it called?
GTA.
GTA. In this one, but you can't join them or anything.
Yeah.
It looks like you can actually join the gangs in Cyberpunk if you want to.
Oh, okay, and just kind of like mosh around.
So there are a couple of gangs that I thought were pretty cool. So there's one called the Animals, where
Yeah.
basically they take cybernetics and just become gorilla men. Like,
Huh.
I'm not even kidding. Like, they're
Unga
That's
bunga.
true. There it is.
like there's even a cybernetics you can get that are called gorilla arms, which are just massive arms.
So we found Drew's class.
There's another thing is you don't have to go with guns. So obviously you can go with like melee weapons.
Isn't that one
But
of the
there's
reasons they pushed the game back was to try and balance that more?
Yes. So the problem was it felt a lot like Skyrim, where it's just attack, 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 attack. Like there's
I
no
see.
blocking, and so that's what they're doing is they're adding kind of the blocking, parrying. But there's also called cybernetic weapons, which there's this thing where you can get mantis blades in your arms. So like you can be just walking around as a dude, flip out 2 massive samurai blades out of your arms and just go to town on a kid, and then
Okay.
flip them back in your arms.
So I that was the first thing they showed for Cyberpunk was the
Yeah.
lady who had
With the mantis arms.
Yeah, but one thing I really want to know between you guys, since there is going to be nudity in this game, would you rather
Titties.
run around as a naked chick or run around with a dude with a Magnum slung?
I'm going chick.
I'm definitely playing a chick. Like 110%, and I'm giving her the biggest tiggo bitties I possibly can.
Okay,
Like, dude, it's gonna be anime tit style.
but then you got Drew who wants to be the Magnum schlong.
I might actually do a Magnum Dunk for my first playthrough and just play like a perfect version of me, like my idealized version.
Just with a, you guys need to, real quick, look up Love Sausage from The Boys.
I don't want
yeah,
to by the
I
name.
know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is.
So
You've already told me it's
he's
the dude
a-
who can make his dick big.
Yeah, but that's in the show. In the comic books, he's different. But yeah, no, he. So you know, like the Fantastic Four leader. I don't know what the fuck his name is.
Reed Richards.
Yeah, but imagine that superpower, but only with his dick,
Well,
and it's
I love that
uncircumcised.
superpower, and it's not circumcised.
It's uncircumcised.
Ooh. So
Yeah.
can he make?
He's
Can
got
he make a
giant
tent?
Russian foreskin penis.
Can he make a tent out of his uncircumcised stick?
Well, I mean, in one of the scenes for The Boys, he breaks it through, like, you know those, like, little windows that are indoors? You know what I'm talking about? Like, that tiny little window type thing?
Yeah.
He broke through that and started strangling him with his dick. Like, what a legend.
I'm gonna kill you with this dick, literally.
Literally, I'm going to murder you with my cock. With my cock.
What
Gives a
was
new
the-
meaning to cock and ball
what was
torture.
What was the name?
Love
The
sausage.
boys love sausage.
Why? All right, Drew's choking on. Love
I'm pretty
sausage
sure
right
it
now.
was love sausage.
So when I watched The Boys, I thought it was okay, but I just prefer the way
It's a meme.
Injustice did it.
Well, you're not going to get a live action Injustice. This is a
No, I
closest
know, and that's
thing.
why I said I thought it was okay. It's just I prefer the story, like the same idea of like what if superheroes were bad.
Oh,
But-
that is very disgusting. And I love it.
Yes. On love sausage.
I'm
On.
looking at the strangle scene right now.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
I would not show that on YouTube.
Oh, I'm definitely not. I'm gonna send it to Drew. I need to open up my other Discord window though.
I need to send. Oh yeah. Have you opened up another Discord? Actually, you know, I'm just gonna send this to the group chat on Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know if we have the same photo or not, but it shall suffice. Isaac's gonna have a wonderful little
Well, gift.
yeah.
I have this photo from the comic.
Oh
books.
yeah. So he just has an abnormally large cock in the So that's the comic book adaptation, and then that's the yeah.
You look at Facebook, my dude.
Okay.
So that's
Not a
his
fan.
that's his dick. And
Just cut it
and it
off.
has a mind of its own. Like he can like control it.
That means it doesn't have a mind of its own.
Well, okay,
It's
so
the opposite of a mind of its
whatever.
It's like the exact opposite of the words you were trying to use.
But in the comic books, he doesn't have like this. He doesn't have the same superpower in the comic books. He's just durable and fast. He's like a Captain America with a Magnum dong.
I see.
Got ya.
And
So would the comics come before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The comic books have been out for a while, but
Who produced them?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't actually read them. I've just gone through and watched the British neckbeards talk about it. Here's another thing that I need to fucking rant about. Why the fuck is it every time I click on a YouTube video, it's always a British person? Why?
Why are you so angry about it?
Like, anytime I want to look up a tutorial on anything, it's like, oh, what's going on there, mate? It's Australian, but whatever. There's
Why
not
are
much
you so angry about it? I don't understand.
I get the issue, but like, why are you so angry about it?
I'm not really that angry about it. It's just, why the fuck is it always a British person? Like, I always tell myself, it's like, yeah, this dude's gonna be British. I can feel it. And the moment the video starts, it's a British person. And I'm like, you just had to prove me. Like, fuck, man. Come on. Dude, Wish.com has cursed images.
Wish.com is... I always get ads for it on Facebook, and I will never trust my credit card info with Wish.com. Never.
Yeah, one of my roommates ordered a lot of shit off of Wish.com, and it's like, dude, that's terrible.
I would
So Parker,
trust it.
I'm just, on Castillo, the two.
Yeah.
So I've just flopped myself up on one of the bookcases, and the blue team's just kind of staring at me like, "What? Oh, never mind. There's a fireball."
Brother, I would
What?
appreciate that if you did not play game.
I mean, I played game the entirety of the last podcast.
Mm.
If I don't play a game, I'm not going to be able to talk. Like, I'm
Okay.
just going to be straight up honest with you.
If you do, just don't really talk about it because
Okay,
it's off topic.
that's fine.
It is. All right, anyone? Topic change. Go.
I had a topic.
What?
But I forgot about it.
You need to write down the list.
Oh, it was while we were... Oh,
Y'all
shit.
seen the biggest dickus meme? That meme makes me crack up every single time I see
Yeah,
it.
it's from the Life of Brian.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I watched it with Jeremy not too long ago. It's fucking hysterical.
Do you have any problem with the biggest
Do you have
dickus?
any problem with my friend, the biggest dickest?
And he's just standing there going,
So those soldiers, that was all improv. Like, those guys were actually
Oh.
trying their fucking hardest not to laugh.
okay.
Hysterical.
It wasn't improv. It was a written part of the script, but they did not tell the extras about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's improv.
I think my favorite improv scene is from Pirates 2. You know where...
So, every scene with Johnny Depp?
well, yeah, but like when Jack is talking about the jar of dirt,
Oh, yeah.
and you zoom in on Will Turner and Keira Knightley's face, and they're just like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
That's actually them just going,
What?
what?
I've got a jar of dirt.
It's just like...
Yeah, no, but Johnny Depp, he just basically threw out his script throughout most of those movies.
Wow.
He's just like, nah. And I mean, I guess it worked, but I don't know. If I was a director, I'd get kind of tilted by that.
You wrote the script? No.
It's like, yeah, I know better than you, and it's like, fuck you, dude.
To be fair, Johnny Depp is an amazing method
Well, Johnny
actor,
Depp's kind of known for his improv, so it's like telling someone who is great at improv, I don't like your improv, I think I'm a better director.
Yeah, I get that, but I still, it would still kind of trigger me.
I get that.
It would make me a little bit upset, because it's just like, why did I even write this fucking script then?
Well, you just write around him.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to write around him.
Yeah. Can you not?
Can you?
Can you not?
Can you?
Jeremy, have you thought of your topic?
I haven't. My brain has left. But back to video games topics. Did any of you play the games Lost Planet?
No.
Oh my god.
Sounds familiar.
I
but it might
know
also just be-
of the game, but I didn't play it.
I don't
I
believe I
played
played
the
it.
shit out of it playing on PS2 and Xbox. Love these games. I'm actually looking at getting them on Steam. Fun games.
I don't know. My gaming history, a lot of the games that I played growing up, was mainly Star Wars Battlefront 2, Revenge of the Sith, Lego Star
Yeah,
Wars. The Return of the King video game for Lord of the Rings was dank. Loved that game. Jack and Daxter played a lot of that. I was so bad at gaming, like, dude, it took me like 4 years, but granted, it wasn't 4 consecutive years of trying to beat Jack 2, because there was just like this one mission I couldn't get past for the life of me, and I like was able to beat Jack 3 and 1 like relatively easily, and then I come back and play that same mission, and it's like, holy shit, this is easy as fuck,
yeah.
and it's like,
Going back. Go ahead.
I was like, why? How did that even give me problems?
Going back and playing old games and knowing getting to parts that you struggled with when you were a kid,
It's like,
and then
how?
just running through them. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, I played that game so much that I could speedrun it by like clipping through like walls and shit. Like I figured out all these weird little things. Like if you remember in Jack 3, you know that mission where you go into the desert to clear the hive with Ziggs?
Mm-hmm.
If you go there early, you can ram the little dune buggy cart, the first vehicle you get, right up into the egg sack and then hop out, and you can like clip through that wall and it'll skip you to that mission.
Huh.
So there's like a lot of shit that you could do with that, and there's a lot of janky shit that you could do with like the hoverboard. So like if you were to do a double 360 spin and then follow it up with a boosted jump and then like grab your board and like wiggle it, you could like fly infinitely in the air. Like
Huh.
there's a lot of janky shit you could do, and bro, I like fucking mastered that shit. Like going back, that's one of my favorite things to do. The mission that I had a really hard time with in Jack 2 was when you had to do the trick thing to get the hoverboard, like that little gauntlet. I went back and replayed that shit, and I just like completely beat the fuck out of it.
Okay, sorry. So, I just saw a video game topic that I think we need to discuss.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go pee. Discuss it with Jeremy, and then recap me.
Okay. So, Baldur's Gate 3, which is like a D&D video game,
I know what
Has.
Baldur's Gate is.
multiplayer sex options.
Wait, man, I gotta leave up.
You heard me. Multiplayer.
Why? Why did I look up? I was going up to look for Baldur's Gate. I just went Baldur's Gay, and I just
Just a bunch of gay porn.
ah! No, I need. Did you ever play Baldur's Gate?
No, I did not. It's an adventure path, right?
It's a lot like Diablo. Or maybe the only Baldur's Gate I played. I played a game called Baldur's Gate Champions, and it was it was on PS2, and it was a fantastic.
Well, it's
game.
based off of a adventure path for D&D 3.5 or D&D something.
All right, what was the topic?
So in a video game's called Baldur's Gate 3, you can now have multiplayer sex scenes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get this game.
No.
Homie orgy.
No.
What, you don't have virtual sex?
Not with you
That's some
fucks.
virtual sex.
No, that is kind of like borderline weird.
Borderline weird.
What about-
Borderline weird.
So
I'm concerned that you consider that only borderline weird.
I was giving it
boys,
the
we're gonna
benefit
get
of the
Baldur's
doubt.
Gate. What if we fucked on Baldur's Gate?
No.
But so another game that made me laugh that I just dug up from the depths of my mind just from Drew is goddamn God of War quick time sex event.
What?
So in God of War you could have sex with people and it was a quick time event, so you had to press buttons at a certain time.
To get the other person to come.
Huh? I didn't
my
know that
God.
was a thing in God of War. Which one?
It was oh man, hold on. I think it was 2.
Oh.
Okay, then I have a question. Why
never
the
heard of that.
fuck did my dad play those games? Out of all of the
time.
video games my father has played, I always found a God of War series the weirdest series he's played.
Maybe once he gets off. Yeah, no, there's God of War It might have been the first one. But yeah, no, it is. No,
Just
it's
straight up.
3. A lot, yeah, it's a quick time event, but it's sex. You're like watching Kratos have sex, and you're in there pressing, like, press A to dig deeper, and you're like, yeah.
Press
Except it's
X
fun.
to grunt.
Prex S to thrust.
Click triangle to bust a fat load on your chest.
Yeah, and it made me laugh really bad.
I will say the Japanese have always been more freely with their pornographic
I
material.
don't think that's Japanese.
I think it is.
But Sony, therefore
It's not
Sony had to
Japan.
approve it, and Sony
Yeah.
is Japanese.
Yeah, but
What I was saying is I don't think Microsoft would approve that game.
they would.
Eh,
Well, what was the game that recently came out that had nudity in it?
The only one I can
don't.
the only one I can think of is Dragon Age Inquisition. That's the first
Yeah.
one that comes off of my head.
Mass Effect.
Whoa! What? We're fucking dumb. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, well, yeah.
Was there any nudity in Red Dead 2?
I think you see Morgan's ass a couple times when he does the
bathing.
bathing. Yeah, and
Well,
you could technically, it's not a sex scene, but you could pay the barkeeps, the lady barkeeps to come wash you.
Oh.
Yeah. No. It's I specifically remember this one because it made me laugh really hard. It was when Arthur got really drunk and was looking for Lenny.
Oh yeah.
You go upstairs and open a door, and there's a naked chick with Lenny's face that just screams at you.
Lenny! I really want to go back and replay that game. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Please.
I just wish they would fix the bungled up economy.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the multiplayer. I don't want to go back and play it for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to. That's one of those games I could erase memory about it and play it again. I would do it.
Skyrim.
I am a heretic. In fact, I don't like Skyrim.
I don't understand how. Like, I honestly don't. Like, if you... Like, you like role-playing games. In my opinion, Skyrim's like one of the best role-playing games.
I will admit, I like Skyrim. I just think the melee combat could be a lot more refined.
Yeah, but
Like-
for 2011, that's pretty damn good.
I mean, The Witcher came out 2 years after that. Wait, no. Yeah, the first one. And it had a sufficient, decent melee combat.
Did you play the first Witcher?
No, but I've watched gameplay of it, and it's a lot more sophisticated.
No, it fucking isn't.
Does it have more than just attack?
Drew, it's literally like Dragon Age Origins, where it's kind of like an RTS style of gameplay. It's not like at all like quick reaction time. That's one thing, like if you play like you need to go through and play it as a two-handed, like go through and play with like great swords. Like that is actually like really fun because you can do cancels, you can do like animation cheat things.
Yes, but you don't need to. You can completely beat the game just smashing M1.
Yeah, but that's not like you can't do that on Legendary.
I mean, I did it on Legendary. It wasn't that hard.
I'm gonna say nah because like one of my favorite things about that is that like you can change your attack based off of where you're moving. I think that's really cool. Kind of basic, but really cool. Because like one of my favorite things to do is to block an attack and then follow it up with a power attack and then a light attack.
All I'm saying is that I think in compared to modern day games, its attacks are basic.
Yeah.
Like compared to Mordhau?
Well, Mordhau is specific for that.
And what else is Skyrim besides a fantasy medieval combat simulator?
A large open world story-based game? Yeah,
but the majority of the game is fighting. And it's set in the medieval time, and it's using medieval weapons.
I would say that majority of the time is not spent fighting. It's thinking on what options to say.
I'm gonna send a meme to group chat because I like this meme. My friend just sent it to me. I was just checking my phone. But don't know. I played Skyrim for like an hour. I always try a game at least for an hour. I give it much time for me.
I did that with The Witcher the first time I played it, and then I actually gave it another shot, and I really fucking loved it.
I did it with
And then
Witcher 3 and then Skyrim.
I like
enjoy
those
it.
are that like honestly, The Witcher is more atrocious of a thing for me that you couldn't get into because that is literally the best story game like ever. Like
Well,
it's
so my issue with The Witcher, personally, is I just don't like the third-person combat. It just takes me out of the game.
I get that, but at the same time, I fucking loved it. Like
And I was just saying I don't like that. That took me out of it.
It was a role-playing Dark Souls game because, well, I played it on the hardest difficulty, and like that was like hella fun. Because I'm not a little bitch like you two and play on the like light difficulties.
I mean,
Bitch.
I normally play on normal.
Yeah, same.
The way the game was intended to be played.
Yeah.
I like role-playing on the hardest difficulty where a sword slice will actually fuck you up like it should.
You know, but then the game's not balanced.
It's still doable though.
Well, yes, but it's not. The game is balanced for normal mode.
I think it's a lot more entertaining where you have to think about what you're doing. As opposed to just being like, nah, me tank.
I've grown accustomed to playing on hard difficulties, not like the hardest, but I've grown accustomed to start playing on hard difficulties.
I play
Yeah,
almost every game on the hardest difficulty. So much fun. Except for Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 on Insanity is not fun.
Well, the only game I really played on the hardest difficulty was Halo. I played on Legendary.
That and Doom. I played Doom on the harder difficulties.
Halo is not fair on Legendary either.
No, it isn't. Especially Halo 2.
Especially Halo 2.
Doom on Nightmare? It's fucking retarded.
Yeah? So are you.
I beat the game on Ultraviolence, and that was difficult enough. But, dude, Nightmare, holy shit.
So, I, on the original, or not the original, the 2016 Doom on Xbox One, I had all the achievements in it.
Uh-huh.
And, like, the hardest damn achievement was you had to at least beat one mission on the hardest difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you die, it resets the mission.
In Doom 2, it resets the game.
The game, yeah.
That's the only reason I didn't beat it. Is because it's like I'm not going to... Because I'm going to be dying a lot, and I don't want to have to restart.
I've seen some people... sorry.
The difficulty below the hardest is the same like difficulty. It just doesn't reset the game.
Yeah.
But you have to beat the game on, I think either Ultraviolence or Nightmare to even unlock that mode.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Which is like, no me gusta.
Like, I understand playing games on harder difficulties, like, and even nowadays, most of the time I play the game on hard or very hard. I don't ever play it on, like, their Nightmare or, like, the one-shot die modes, because that just doesn't seem fun.
It on The Witcher 3 was really fun. It was really challenging, but it was doable. Because, like, what I would do is go in for a light attack, dodge back. Light attack, dodge back. Never try blocking.
I have a friend who refuses to play on Minecraft anything other than peaceful. Or not peaceful. No. He tried to keep inventory on.
Oh.
Yeah.
With certain mod extensions, I understand that. Like,
but it was just base vanilla Minecraft.
Then yeah, that's...
Like, and he was like, well, I just don't like losing my inventory. And I'm like, well, I like playing the game.
That's the whole point of it, though.
Is to survive. And he's like, well, I just like building things. Like, well, then don't put the game in survival.
Then go on to creative. Like,
yeah.
I can understand just wanting to grind the, like, stuff and build. Like, I could get that, but just put it on peaceful at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I also don't get people that play Ark and only play PvE.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry, I had to toss some shade. Someone died?
Apparently. Drew just disappeared. I don't know, I just like playing Ark on PvE because it's a lot more chill of a community for me.
Yeah. I get it, but that like the way I look at it is that like it plateaus, you know. Like it gets to a point in a game where there's nothing else to do.
I will completely agree with that. After a certain while, PvE does get boring because you're like, I have everything, and there's no point to do with it.
And that's why I err more toward PvP, is because like there's always something to do. There's always people to go fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more challenging than just trying to run away from dinosaurs.
Yeah. Tis true, but not very started.
So
Bastard sword.
who wants to go first?
I
Well,
like
I had a topic I really want to talk about
All
before
right,
we
go
get into
for it.
that, which is Nintendo and hentai games now.
Oh, nice.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, Nintendo is selling hentai games on the Nintendo Store.
Interesting.
Cyberpunk just pulled a pretty funny meme. So they just tweeted the other day, you'll be able to play Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch, but only if you buy a PlayStation 3, Xbox One, or a PC. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of because people were trying to ask them to port it to the Switch, and I'm like,
No.
bro.
This isn't Skyrim. It doesn't have like 50 ports.
Well, it doesn't have the capabilities to run that game. You know how long it took to get The Witcher to run on that shit? And even then, dude, it looks like garbage.
Yeah, it looks like a PS1 game. PS1 haggard of this bitch.
I just got shot at in the foot.
Oh yeah, so if you look right underneath here, there'll just be some goons down there throwing shit at you.
If you go to one of the other stairwells, they'll climb up there if you down on the lower levels, because they spawn all over the castle.
I see.
Sometimes they get stuck. The poo gets clogged.
Yeah. Where's the evening star on this map? I don't even remember.
Up your butt.
On one of the, like, catwalk
Oh, it's wherever you, it's where you go to burn the books.
Captain Carrot? Sorry, Jeremy, what was your question?
I was just talking about Nintendo adding hentai games to the game.
Oh, yeah.
And also them taking down the Princess Peach game, hentai game that was been in production for years.
Why'd they take that down?
Because
It wasn't a licensed Nintendo game, I bet.
yeah, also just because people were memeing about it too, which is like
a big no-no to the Koreans.
someone made a
Japanese.
Someone made a Metroid game, and they took it down, then released a new Metroid game. Someone made a Mario's game. They took it down, made a new Mario game.
So they just reported it, or like retextured it.
No, but
Well, no, what he's saying is that they made someone made a fan-made game, and then Nintendo had it struck down and put their own game out.
I got you.
Just so people wouldn't.
but what that means, maybe Nintendo's releasing a Princess Peach hentai game.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Tasty.
I got
God
poked by
damn
a rake.
it! Why is it
Yeah,
always
like-
you?
Raked in the face.
Don't ask questions. Oh, Jeremy has Bastard Sword. If you click R with that, it goes two-handed.
Switches it to one-handed. Wait, does it start out two-handed or one-handed? The bastard
It starts
sword?
out one-handed.
Macer is the exact opposite.
You're the exact opposite.
Because to be honest,
gay.
that big guy's fucking sword shouldn't be able to be swung one-handed that quickly. That sword's heavy, dude. That thing is chonky.
The bastard sword?
No, the
Messer.
Macer.
You got a dude
Why are you behind me?
you.
Stop! Go to this special place, Jeremy.
Oh, you both are dead?
Yes.
So, Jeremy, if you block an attack and follow it up with another attack, that will instantly, it'll give you like a stronger attack, and it'll also not be blockable. Well, by blockable, I mean like it will go through what you hit. So if you hit flesh, you'll hit through like multiple people. That dude is very spooky.
Yeah,
Be
watch out
careful
for
with the
sights.
sides. Try and focus those guys. Kick, then stab. Good combo.
Run in, and as you're running in, stab and then back out.
He's just gotta learn the timing. He's getting it.
Well, I was just giving him some advice.
Stabs are a precision.
Okay, be careful of him when he swings. This is also useful for just like this. When I played this mode a bunch, it was just useful for learning how to hit attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. It's not like me and Parker did any better.
Hey. Fuck you.
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
Yes.
Yet also,
I
so
have the
right.
I have the least amount of ping, you guys cocksuckers.
What?
Look,
What did
I have
you
the
just
least
say?
amount- I have the least amount of ping, you cocksuckers.
You're the closest to the server.
Wait, are we voting on a
guess
different map? What's
technically.
happening?
You could choose a different map if we want to, but Castile is pretty good because it has a pretty.
I didn't
dense
even
spot.
vote.
Oh well,
Right.
I tried voting, but it says no. So it might be a random mode.
Camp Sumerian Horde.
Did you choose camp?
Nope, I chose Castile, but
I
it
didn't
wouldn't
vote.
let me put the vote. Yeah, so it just chose randomly.
Stonks.
You did that right as I punched you, so I thought I killed you for a second. I was like, oh no!
If you had to remake one piece of media, what would it be and why?
What do you mean piece of, like, any video game, anything
Any
like
any
that?
piece of media, of any like content, of any like entertainment source. Like if you could
Infamous
The
recreate
classic, the classic Godzilla with today's sort of quality.
Ah. That's an interesting one that I didn't consider. Now, do you mean
I'm
being
gonna-
filmed in the same way, but just with higher tech, or like all CGI?
It would be probably CGI, so it would look really good. The
see.
suits don't look great. But
Some of them kind of look good in the standstills.
and they're not moving.
Yeah. But once they're doing complicated like movements, it doesn't look too good.
And then there's the time where Godzilla just inverted 100 or 90 degrees and just skyrocketed some kid.
What?
Have you not seen the meme where he like floats up, rotates 100 like 90 degrees, and then just zooms through the sky?
Oh no. Are you talking
Yeah.
about the one where he's like breathing fire on the ground?
No. Like he's standing, he goes up, and then he like lays down in the sky and skyrockets at someone.
You're gonna have to find a clip of that for me, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think it might have been Godzilla vs King Kong. That might have been the fight I saw.
You wanna know something that's sad? That's the only one I've never seen.
We actually just got the first trailer for that movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it comes out this
Yeah.
month. Next
No,
month.
no, the
Mid-Feb.
trailer came out, but it wasn't. It didn't have any
Oh, is it not even
Godzilla
worth
or
it?
anything. It actually has God, I forgot his name. The dude who plays
Dude who plays
Loki.
Claw?
The dude who plays
Tom
Loki.
Wilson?
Oh yeah,
Wait.
he was in the first one.
He was in King Kong though in the 70s. He
Yeah.
would be old
But
as
no,
fuck.
this is before. This is before. This is way in the past. But it's him and Brie Larson in an interrogation room.
Oh,
talking
so
about
it's
it.
like a flashback from Skull Island talking about Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kong
but-
gonna need to take some goddamn steroids to fight.
Well, he's not fully
Godzilla.
grown in Skull Island.
No, I know, but it's like even then, the radiation breath's kind of broken.
Jeremy, attack.
I can't.
Anytime
know
you
how.
block, follow up an attack, right click. I mean, that works. But now you don't have a weapon. Jeremy, run in and punch him in the fucking face.
I have 10 health.
You get full HP if you kill something. Oh, I
Wait,
guess you
don't.
don't get full. Back up,
You get, like,
turn around
50.
and run. So, one thing you need to do is maintain momentum. So, like, if you look at Drew, he hits somebody and then he backpedals. But he's doing it by jumping, which is kind of weird. Turn around and run away! You need to hit shift. You need your sprint. Run to the side. Run to the right.
Run to the sky.
So you can hit sprint if you go at like kind of if you hit W and D type thing, W and A, like sidestepping, you can maintain your speed. And then you can just swerve in and out, kind of like strafe. So like right now I'm still like sprinting and I'm just like running around in a circle. And then you can come in, get an attack,
Parker likes
sprint
cock
away.
and ball torture.
Drew, I still want you to find me that clip of Godzilla you were talking about.
Okay, let me.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Stonks.
Don't die.
Why? What if I want to?
Okay, here it is. It's Godzilla versus Megalon?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, where he just like jumps up, rotates 90 degrees, and then just goes.
So what he's doing is he's using his atomic breath as a propellant.
No, that's not the scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where he does like the jump kick.
Yeah. Flying kick or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Now I know
He's
what you're talking about.
He's fighting some Power Ranger grappling a bug.
Yeah, that's Jet Jaguar, and the bug thing is, ow. Megalon. Drew, I'm dead.
I am too.
Jeremy!
Jeremy! Jeremy, hurry!
Rest in pepperonis, my dude.
Jeremy!
Where did you send meme?
Hmm?
Where?
Discord.
Meme? Send? Where the fuck's
Why'd you
my
leave?
Discord?
Why did you leave?
I was trying to do something.
Let's go to one with like people so we can actually get him some gold.
I'm gonna quit and just give topic ideas because I can't fucking focus.
Ah.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Swine has apparently abandoned us. Oh, and Jeremy's muted again.
I'm here.
Why are you not just talking?
So I have food in my mouth.
Okay. And?
And we aren't, and not all of us are filthy animals like you.
Rude,
Fact.
Fact.
but also true.
So I can't see anything you put into hell because I have this like pop out window thing. So you'll have to send it to me.
Okay, well. Let's go to this other door. It'll make it easier.
What?
Talking to Jeremy.
Alright, anyone have any other topic ideas?
I'm eating food, so.
Oh.
Do you?
I can't really think of anything at the moment. Hold on, let me scroll through Facebook. I'll find something to talk about.
This also right here is also a pretty good weapon. I like the heavy hand axe anyway. Oh yeah, so normally these spikes kill you in game. These is right here. If you follow them, they'll kill you.
Are you playing with more people or just are you playing with randos or are you?
We're still on that last server, but I think I might switch him over to rando so we can get some more gold. So you only really get gold in this if you actually finish the match. So, actually, yeah, we'll just do that. Join me when I tell you.
Finish the fight.
No.
God, I really want to talk about Naruto, but you fucks haven't watched it.
Trash.
I have a topic. Come on.
Let's hear it.
I'll
go just edit out all the silence.
I recently tried watching.
Join me when you get a chance.
Shut up, Drew.
Yeah, Drew, shut up.
I've been trying to rewatch or watch the new seasons of Seven Deadly Sins.
Huh. Not good?
No. So the new animation and shit they do. You know how Seven Deadly Sins has never been afraid to show blood and shit? Like, it's been a pretty gory show.
Yeah.
All blood and shit is white. It's just bright white now.
Feels bad.
Like legit, Meliodas cuts a demon in half and just a bright white light.
Why?
Exactly. And like, Bond uses his power snatch and takes the heart of a demon, and it's just a black mass. That's in the shape of a heart, but it's just solid black. No detail or anything.
That feels bad.
Meanwhile, in the last season, they literally had him show the pulsing heart. Of course, it wasn't red, but it was purple. It was still purple ichor.
And like, just like the animation style was so shitty. Like, they were fighting a horde of demons, Bond and Meliodas, and it was just like, it was like the shitty sort of fight where you just see their after image, like they're jumping around. Whoa, wow, you know.
One thing I've never liked
bad.
is censorship of any kind. I hate like when they censor out blood and like nudity and all that shit and like language. It's like, why? Like, you put it in the show to begin with. It was already here.
I find it interesting that, like, in PG-13 movies, you're allowed one use of the word fuck and, like, a ton of blood. But, like, the second you show a titty, the second that titty pops out, ooh.
It's like, oh no.
That's a really good movie. And you said the one word fuck. No, one second.
Excuse me.
You said the one fuck loud per PG-13 movie.
Uh-huh.
I recently watched Jojo Rabbit.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
And, like, the little 10-year-old kid in that is one that says the fuck, and it's pretty funny.
He says the fuck.
He says the fuck.
In what?
Jojo Rabbit.
Never even
It's a
heard
Nazi
of it.
movie.
Yeah. The one that Thor Ragnarok director did.
Yeah, he plays Hitler.
Huh. Interesting.
So the basic premise of the movie is you're following the guy Jojo, and he's a 10-year-old kid in Germany, and he idolizes, or he's an
Hitler.
extreme Nazi. He's such a Nazi to the point where his imaginary friend is Hitler.
Okay.
It's a really good movie. It really is. That's all I had to say about it.
I need to see it. There's a lot of good movies that I haven't like watched. Now that I try thinking about them, I can't think of any. I watched Real Still with Drew the other day, and that was actually pretty good.
I love that movie, but it's really underrated.
It's cheesy as fuck, but yeah.
Mhm.
I would have liked it if the robots were a bit more serious, you know? Like, if they had more of like a Pacific Rim vibe where like the
More steel and less plastic.
Yeah, exactly. Like a more gritty, like intimidating look, you know? Like
Well, supposedly, as I was telling Parker, they're coming out with a second one. So, comes out in 2 years, I think they said. So,
that would be good. I hope.
Gotta have high hopes in the kitchen.
Why in the kitchen? Why not in the bed?
Because
have a
that's
high dick.
What? What?
what?
How does your dick get high?
It raises, you get erect.
Drew's over there smoking a bowl with his dick.
Smoking my dick.
Just putting the piece right up to his dick and just like doing some weird flexing motion.
Doing some kegels with a dick.
No, Pug, we're not going outside again. Sorry, sweetie. We went on a pretty damn long walk and you haven't drank nothing. No.
Except the blood of her enemies.
Yeah. Or the attention seeking.
Stu's just spinning around in circles, swinging a pan.
Are you in the game with me?
Yeah. You,
Okay.
you didn't even tell me to join, but I was like, I should probably join.
Well, I told you to join. I said, I'm in, join when ready.
I love how you didn't even realize that he wasn't in.
Wasn't looking at the bottom left, I just assumed he wasn't going to join.
Trash.
I was too busy talking about how trash Drew is.
If you want to know what a weapon is, ask me. I have a pretty good
I need a
knowledge.
I need a weapon.
Well, their messer is in the castle dungeons. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Next question, where's the castle dungeons?
Beneath you.
Okay,
No.
next question, where's beneath me?
Okay, come here.
Beneath you.
Oh, shit.
Okay, let's go.
Ow.
Follow me.
Ow. Gotta have high hopes in the kitchen. Do not understand why I cannot have the chicken. Oh, that's an enemy. I thought that was
Yeah. Follow me.
far there.
So here's the heavy chest plate, which is good.
I can't afford it.
And then over here is the messer.
Why do I hear Jaws music?
Because people like to play weird shit on the loot.
Wait, is he really playing the Jaws theme song?
No, he's
No,
not.
he's playing Baby Shark.
He is.
Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Which starts with Jaws music, to be honest. To be fair.
I have a guilty confession.
What?
What is
I've
it?
been liking to watch the one of the VTubers.
The what?
The VTubers.
What is that?
The chicks with the fucking fake anime pace. The fucking that tracks their movement.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It's just cute. I don't know. Fuck you.
Why even live when you can't have
Oh
anime
my
GF?
god, Ape is a weeb.
Well, yeah, of course. You didn't know that already?
Wait, you idolize Japanese culture?
I don't idolize it,
Well, that's
But I
basically.
but I am enjoyed by it. I enjoy it.
You are enjoyed by
I
it?
am enjoyed by it.
You am
I am.
enjoyed.
I am a culture.
Okay.
I am a culture in Japanese myth.
You know the Buddha statues? That's actually just true.
It's actually just me. I'm all of them at the same time.
What do you think real world examples of vampires or werewolves would have been?
These
And-
nuts.
Do you actually think werewolves or vampires actually existed?
No. No.
Most likely not.
I think the vampires. There's a disease that makes you highly reactant to the sun, which you probably didn't
Someone's
know
just
about.
playing the Doom theme song on the loop.
No.
Respect that, man. Jeremy,
I hear
where
it.
the actual hell are you going?
Don't know. I'm just leaving.
Sort of, we're on Grodd, and Jeremy's just off on the other side of the river, just vibing.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just leaving.
Wait,
All
come
you
here.
know
Where
is
are
you must kill.
If you go too far, you'll die. The game will just kill you.
Can I open this door?
I don't think you can open these doors. Oh, yes,
Lies.
you can.
This is my house. I didn't invite you into my house.
All right, we're gonna fight here now. This is it. We're gonna have to just stand here. Yeah, so if someone's on the other side of a door and you kick it, they just knock over. So do you want to talk about your conspiracy theory, Jeremy?
Let Swine go first, actually. Or
I guess
one
he's
of you
the
two
most
can go
prepared.
first.
Well, I'm actually not like 100% prepared because I could like. This is kind of dipping my toe into like a much bigger
yeah,
conspiracy theory that I kind of wanted to research a bit more, but
Well, just give the small one you were gonna talk about today.
okay.
I mean, if
Well,
you
where are
want to, I
doing?
can
That's
go.
fine. Yeah, we can. You can go.
Okay. So the conspiracy theory I have, which a lot of people wouldn't consider a conspiracy theory because a lot of people believe in it, but it's the young Earth creationism. So these people believe that, contrary to popular and scientific belief, the Earth is only 6,000 years old. They believe that God created the Earth exactly how it is now, and the same thing with humans. They don't believe in evolution. They believe evolution is a big myth. And so let me state some of the problems with that besides the obvious. So obviously evolution happened because we have evidence in the fossil record. Now what they believe the fossil record is that Noah's flood, which they believed covered the entire Earth, and then the water just went away. Yeah, no, that's actually their belief. They're like, well, the water just receded back into the hollow Earth, and I'm like, excuse me.
It just
not how-
got zucked by the Earth.
Yeah, like seriously, that's what they believe.
I
That,
also
like,
believe in the Hollow Earth theory too.
and they believe dinosaurs existed, cohabitated with humans, even though we don't have any fossils that humans and dinosaurs share the same strata. So sometimes as the Earth ground settles and like bones form, sometimes not thermic, geoshifts. So like the Earth will split and move, like in an earthquake, and so that will shift where bones are, and so that's why sometimes we find bones higher than other bones, and that's where a lot of young Earth creationists point out their evidence that they're like, well, if it's this old, it shouldn't be anywhere near that, and it's like, well, we have an explanation for that. They just
And everything's hollow Earth.
Yeah. Well, not everything's hollow Earth, but like they claim that like the Leviathan mentioned in the Bible is actually a sauropod, even though the thing that the Leviathan mentioned in the Bible is also mentioned to have like 90 heads, which no animals ever had. So
The
that's like
most
a big...
depictions of the Leviathan's kind of like a Kraken deal, right?
Yeah, well, Kraken, so it's been depicted as a Kraken and a giant serpent. And then there was also another Hebrew word in there that has been translated into English to mean roughly sea serpent, dragon, or snake. And that's another thing that they point to as being evidence for dinosaurs existing then. But aside from the fact that it's the Bible that we're trying to believe here, which is not a very good source of information.
Not reputable. Reputable.
It's also theorized that most biblical scholars recognize that as to be the description of like a bull, because it mentions that its tail was like it mentions it was like a tree, like a cedar. It was like a really thick, stumpy tree.
It just had a tree for a tail?
Well, no.
Or is that what they were equating
like
it
a
to?
stumpy tail, like a really thick tail.
I got you.
Yeah, and so it was more likely like an elephant that they just didn't know what it was, or a bull, or something like that.
Kind of like how the Cyclops idea is just
Yeah.
basically a whatever the fuck
Another
it's
good
called, a
example
mammoth.
that they Cyclops is just ancient mammoth bones that they mistaken the trunk hole for an eye hole.
Yeah, that's where the Cyclops legend came from.
Well, I was just giving the listeners
I got you.
a description of how that works. But yeah, so the main problem with it is that they're not willing to accept science as it is.
But that's just like religion.
Well, so the thing is a lot of religions actually believe in evolution. They just believe that the Lord created the Big Bang.
Oh, I got you.
Like that
The word
that
of
he
God.
snapped it and then the Big Bang happened, or like he was the one that manipulated the Earth to come together. And it's just like my biggest problem with the young Earth creationism is not so much that they believe that, but that they hold what's called biblical inerrancy, which is basically the idea that the Bible is completely 100% true. Which, if
Interesting.
anyone in the chat has ever read the Bible at any point in time, you'll know instantaneously that's not true. Because they say that light came before night and day. Which, how could light and darkness
Exists
come before
without
the
what-
sun and the moon? Like, it's not how that works.
But it's metaphorical.
Yeah. I'm also pretty sure... yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty
Well, it's
sure.
Yeah, pretty sure yeah. Also, if that's true, then you can't eat shellfish, because that's also frowned upon.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, in the Bible, you're not allowed to eat shellfish.
Why?
Because it's they're unclean.
That's retarded.
Yeah, that's the Bible. Also, so the whole justification for the hatred of gay people, the whole if a man lay with another man, ye shall kill him, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was, I believe, the original interpretation was something to be more like if a man lays with another child, then ye shall kill him.
Oh, like
Yeah, it was
Child of
anti-pedophilia,
God.
not anti-gay. Which, and it's like, yeah, gay is being fine because literally the Greeks were gay. And do you want to know who Jesus talked a lot with?
the
The
Greeks.
Greeks. The gays.
The gays, yeah.
The gays had their own country in the ancient times.
Well,
They had
did.
their own army and standard.
They did have their own country. It's called Greece, Drew.
We just established that.
Yeah. The Andy. Anyways, continue
But
on.
yeah, it's and then they insist on trying to teach this at schools.
Help me out that send nudes.
What?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Look,
Oh, and that's I don't know, it's just
Can't
the
get
amount
over.
of like blind devotion they have to religion is my biggest issue with them, is that they just
Downright retarded.
yeah. Cause like I don't know. Oh, and did you guys see a guy named Kent Hovind built
No idea
what's
who
it
that
called?
is.
He's a famous creationist, young Earth creationist. What's his name? He made this like $1 million. If you look it up, it's like Creation Park or something like that. But he built a scale replica of the Ark, like Noah's Ark, out in the middle of Kansas.
well,
And
Why?
he built it because he wanted to prove to the atheists that God exists and that like the dinosaurs coexisted with humans. So what he did is he just basically built a bunch of displays saying that, and then uses that as evidence.
Huh.
And it's like,
My biasm is fact.
yeah,
oh, is that what people are talking about? Like, I've seen articles about it, which is like on Facebook from some of my Mormon friends are talking about. They found the Ark in Kansas and stuff like that.
that might be what they're talking about. It might be an ad for that.
Well, I mean, Jeremy, do you know of any other arcs in Kansas?
Fair enough.
Like
But it
the
is
funniest-
Kansas.
the
I
best
didn't know
thing.
about it.
is that like they've built scale replicas of the Ark and they don't float.
Huh.
Because in the original text, the Ark was a box. It didn't have any buoyant measures.
But see, it's the same thing with the Mormons and the submarines. God
Yeah.
did it.
It's funny though that creation park whatever I was talking about. It's like $6 million in debt. Like
Makes sense.
Is the Ark before or after Jesus?
Way before.
Ark is before Jesus.
Maybe that's why God made Jesus a carpenter. It's because he got sick and tired of people not knowing how to make fucking boats.
Oh my lord. That's another thing. That's another thing with Younger and Christian. I don't know what that was just. That was an aneurysm. Younger they will defend God, the biblical idea of God, like to the death. They're like, oh, God is good. God is great. And I'm like, did anyone else miss where he killed like 90% of humanity because they were boning whoever they wanted to? Like with Noah's flood?
That's always been big no-no.
Like, well, and they're like, well, that was the Old Testament God. The New Testament God is a God of love, and I'm like, yeah,
I
but
hate
he's
how
still
people,
killed.
anyone, like, try to say God changes his mind. It's like, this
Yeah.
omnipotent being, you're trying to sell me that a boy that knows literally everything has to change his mind on things.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Jesus changes his status as a God.
Huh.
So in the Catholic religion, I believe they believe in the Trinity, where it's three separate beings.
Right.
Which is weird, because why would God
I don't know.
need to
I thought it was
sacrifice
like,
himself
it
to
was-
himself to save himself?
Oh, I see. That it was one entity instead
It
of
was
three.
one entity. Whereas with the Mormon religion, it's three separate entities.
Yeah, three separate beings.
And the Mormon religion likes to call the conspiracy theory is going more on a rant on the Mormon religion, which I'm just going to keep
more
going
talking
because it's-
material.
Yeah. So the Mormon religion believes that God is a God of justice and mercy, which, if anyone here with half a brain knows that justice and mercy are incompatible. Justice is the idea that you get your just desserts. You get what you deserve. So if you kill someone, you die. That's justice.
Eye for an eye.
Dick for a dick.
And mercy is the
Yes.
idea that you forgive people, which justice cannot is not compatible with.
Compat.
Yeah, because you can't have a perfectly just system and have it also be perfectly merciful. Which is
Yeah.
why the idea of a god being the god of justice and mercy just doesn't fly, because God is the embodiment of that thing.
And there's no way you could be all good.
Yeah. And another thing is, with the whole sacrificing Jesus, they're like, well, his soul paid for us all. One man, okay, I guess technically one demigod, if we're going to get nitpicky about it, paid for what? How many humans have been on the earth? Like 1 trillion now?
About.
A couple billion? His one life paid for all of us.
Well, it was God's son, though. Or
Yeah,
God
but like,
himself.
aren't we
Himself.
all
Oh,
God's
God's
child?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he was his actual son, and I'm like, well, then are we not his actual children?
No.
Well, no, our spirits are, but he was God's, like, physical son. So God has a physical body. No, God doesn't have a physical body, but
this
he
is
inhabited one.
Mormonism.
Yeah, like, you just can't get a straight answer out of it.
Yeah.
If you have
true.
anything that questions their religion, they're just going to deny it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, the Catholic Church actually, besides the whole boy-touching habit,
Habit.
Habit.
they've been kind of getting a lot better with at least acknowledging science. Like they even came out a couple years ago and say that Adam and Eve didn't happen. It's just an analogy,
10
which
out
is
of
a
10.
massive step for religion. Because you know what, the Mormons still believe that.
That it actually happened.
Yeah, that it actually happened, and you just kind of look at them like, do you know what DNA is?
Do you know how, like, horribly inbred we would be?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I found was really funny growing up in kind of the Mormon society that I did. Was like, we all were like, yeah, we're related because, we're all children from Adam and Eve.
You go up to Jake, hey, Jake, come on, Adam and Eve did it.
It's like, hey, give it to me. It was literally just an excuse to marry siblings. Like that's all that Adam and Eve.
Yeah, to normalize it amongst the royal
yeah.
families and shit.
Yup. Another thing, funny enough, in the late, I want to say 1500s to 1700s, right before the Renaissance, a really big thing was to claim your royalty from God. Was to say that God gave me the power to rule, and the Catholic Church would crown people, and it's like,
and that gave like religion hella power.
Yeah. That was actually one of the issues, is that in 1453, I believe, the current emperor of the Holy Roman Empire had a schism, and the Pope crowned one, and then I think he accidentally crowned another one, and so it was this whole big civil war over who was the actual Pope.
I see.
Or the actual king.
I just watched you just in time.
Yeah.
Watch you get
Also,
bonkety bonked.
But for those of you who aren't here, I am the history buff.
And
so
also
I will almost
local?
always go on history tangents.
Local
He
aid?
he will nut in his pants for history.
All y'all heard of the 30 Years' War?
Yes.
Jimmy?
No, actually.
So basically, the 30 Years' War was the Catholics. So this is, I think, 100 years
Is it
or
the
so.
Crusade?
No, it wasn't. Technically, it was a crusade, but not on the Middle Eastern.
crusade you think of.
It was a crusade on Protestants. So basically, a lot of people from France, Italy, and all of the Catholic states walked into Germany and just slaughtered people, just because they were Protestant. And when I mean slaughter, like entire towns were left like dead, desecrated. Like literally no one alive, all because they were a slightly different variant of Christianity. And no one seems to talk about that's what religion made people do.
But that were the primitive folk, and yet you're still following into their religion.
Alright, one of you two talk. I just went on an entire rant.
Jeremy?
Do you want to go on my
Let's send it.
Let's go on. Let's see what you could come up with. Go.
with my conspiracy theory?
Let's do it.
Okay, so actually, let me bring up an article on my second monitor real quick.
Well, after Jeremy goes, I remember I had another one. It's the royal family. Sorry.
It's a what?
There's some royal family theories I want to bring up to you guys after Jeremy's done.
So, my conspiracy theory is
my
the
TED
Beatles,
talks about
the famous band Beatles never existed.
The what?
Not so whatsoever. The Beatles band.
Oh my
never
god,
existed.
this is gonna be hysterical. My conspiracy theory is on the Beatles too.
Oh.
But yeah, no, they've never existed. All right, not once.
So they were just complete fabrication.
Yes. Let me read you a quote from the website about this. This is a serious subject, not a joke, and this site is here to expose the action of those who exploited these young men and defraud us, their fans. It is to defend the honor of everyone involved who did not take part in it willingly. It has become apparent to us in this extensive and painstaking research that there were never just 4 individual people known as John, Paul, George, and Ringo, who comprised one rock and roll band known as the Beatles, and rose to fame as the world's first supergroup. For all intents and purposes, as far as we can tell, no one such group ever existed. We are here to explore whether the original individuals themselves ever existed, and if so, what may have happened to them and by whom. But have not been able to, thus far, to calculate how many of each persona were fraudulently presented to the world. Please join us at the forum if you care to have an open mind.
So did they
This is a highly emotional topic for many of us, and most of us have very strong feelings about it.
So did they believe like they just had multiple clones?
Here we go. Yeah, the Beatles were apparently never existed, and there's photos of it. It's like a celebrity impersonation of Paul McCartney has the same ear as actual Paul McCartney. So, they were about 95 to 90% of every Beatles band you've ever seen, or concert you've ever been a part of or seen has been a clone. And each clone can be 95 to 90%, 99% exact. So they have slight differences.
So like different ear shapes, different nose height.
No, yeah, different. Like this Paul McCartney clone who grew a mustache and has different nose and different eyes and different eyebrows, different hair, different
Okay, but
chin.
why?
But
What's
he
the
has
reasoning
same,
to
he
why?
has the same ear, so that means he is a clone.
He has the same ear.
And
Okay.
so, but there's the thing. So a little bit ago, Paul McCartney actually died, but it wasn't really Paul McCartney because Paul McCartney never existed.
Who was it?
No
It
one
was one of
knows.
his clones. He took the fall. Okay, but does it say why this happened?
Let's see.
Well,
Intriguing.
I just want you to know that I can answer the why with my conspiracy theory if
Okay.
you want to keep going, Jeremy.
Before. Okay, and then here is the other. The other quote from this website. On the list I compiled of what different people around the internet on Beatles forums have said were the features and attributes of the quote-unquote real John Paul McCartney. It's on 2 or 3 of our forum threads. One thing commonly agreed on was that he had a highly swooped right eyebrow. They said this was for certain one way to identify as the one true Paul McCartney.
But I thought they
can
were all
understand.
clones.
I can understand that when someone sees that highly swooped brow, it says in their memory. So they would always expect to see it again and again in viewing videos or pictures of Paul. So I ask now, if he has a highly swooped right eyebrow at any given time, age or era, that cannot be proven to be doctored or tampered with, that means it's really Paul McCartney, right? And if he has any other shape of eyebrows at any given time, age, or era, that means it isn't Paul McCartney.
Now, what about? Is there any evidence on the other 4 or other 3 rather?
This one's only about Paul McCartney, or has evidence about Paul McCartney.
Yeah, what's up with everyone like fanboying over Paul McCartney? Like, I don't see any conspiracy theories about Ringo.
Well, it's because I think most people are just, I don't know. He was like the headman, I think. Something.
You know, I honestly don't even know enough about the Beatles to like tell you who's who.
Yeah, I don't either, but I looked up like weird conspiracy theories, and I found this one, and I laughed really hard about it. Just
See, you
yeah.
and I picked like weird, funny conspiracies, and Drew got one that made him triggered.
Yeah.
All right, should I go?
You can go,
Yes.
yeah. I'm just vibing now.
All right, I'm gonna go die real quick.
If you
All right.
really don't want, oh, okay.
So, the Beatles were in fact MI5 agents employed by, obviously, the British Secret, well, not the British Secret Service, by British Parliament. And you might be asking yourself, why were they? And this compounds onto the fact that they could be clones. But I get to that. The British are, in fact, as many people know, a part of the Illuminati. I know. Who would have ever guessed?
Okay, wait. Just the British.
No.
entirety-
There's a lot more than just the British, but
Oh,
the
okay,
British have
okay.
been like they've been at the forefront, if you will, of this for
Okay.
many years. Okay, so there was a guy named John Coleman in the 90s, and he claims that the band's purpose was to do nothing but corrupt the morals of American society and also the societies of everywhere else, but this is mainly just talking about America, by breaking the moral code of everyday Americans through rampant drug use and listening to rock and roll. So, obviously, well, he kind of like fucked up in his mentioning here that rock and roll makes every person into a drug addict. This is fact. And that kind of goes off of like all religious people, because religious people seem to think the same thing. And is there one other thing that rock and roll people are known to be associated with? Any of you guys care to guess?
Drugs.
Drugs?
Oh,
Larry, I
sex.
don't know if drugs. Sex? Violence.
Close enough. Devil worship. As you all know, rock and roll people
yes.
are devil worshippers. Now, if you could think of a devil worshipper, what would you think? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The Church of Satan?
Okay. But what else?
Satan.
The Illuminati. The Illuminati, of course. So, you may ask yourself, why? Why are they doing this? And I will say unto you, because of one world order. And the reason they chose the Beatles, and they used them, for all of that is because it was a new market and they were able to use a bunch of subliminal messaging. We all know what subliminal messaging is, because if you fold up a $20 bill and shit, you see some pretty interesting scenes, but that's a conspiracy for another day. Where the fuck was I at?
$20 bill.
Yeah, I know. I meant like in my notes. Oh yeah, so the subliminal messaging. So in many of the album covers, there's one of them where you see the John Lennon flashing the devil horn sign. You know, where you like make a fist and you pull out your index finger and pinky.
The sign of hard rock?
Yeah.
Or of metal?
That is known as devil horns. And I would have you know, that is a sign for other devil worshippers to show that they themselves are devil worshippers. And you also can see, to adding on to more of devil worship, is Paul. He makes the 666 / the Eye of Horus Hind sign. Now, you may say, but wait, swine, that's just a normal OK sign. And I say unto you, wrong, devil worship. Now, to add further on the subliminal messaging, there is an album by the name of, let's see, I can't read my own handwriting. I can't find that. Fuck. Okay, well, I don't know the album name, but on one of the albums, you see all 4 of them sitting, 3 of them sitting and 1 standing behind the 3rd. And all of them have dismembered baby doll parts on you. And obviously, we all know that the Illuminati is into all kinds of baby sacrifice. Because, you know, Satan. Because why not?
Because
Babies
as
are
you
the
do as the
juiciest.
Illuminati.
As you do. But there are more conspiracies around baby sacrifice that we could get into later. Now,
Oh God.
this compounds onto yet another conspiracy theory, and that's that major networks throughout the world have been using various different artists to get out their messages. For example, Rihanna. She has many times put a triangle over her eye while in music videos, which we all know, triangle to the eye is Illuminati, is it not? And furthermore, we have Kanye West. Kanye West has had several lyrics inferring toward the Illuminati and devil worship. And he is also a prominent figure. So I say that there is a network of people that make kings, if you will, amongst the artisans of the world. That their only purpose is to throw out a bunch of subliminal messaging to manipulate the minds of the American citizens to make them more likely to accept a one-world order. I say unto you, boys, do not listen to music.
Do not listen.
God,
Music.
the amount of times devil worship was quoted.
Dude,
Literally
the
everything.
article that I went through was literally nothing but devil worship.
Nothing but devil
Okay,
worship.
so... okay. Alright. So... Alright. You ready to hear some whack-ass, British royal family theories?
You mean the Illuminati?
Yeah. So, the first one that I found is, Prince Charles is a vampire.
I like it.
Because...
Go on.
The only
my
piece of evidence is because, one, he's related to Vlad the Impaler.
Wait, is he actually?
Yes, but then again, everyone in Europe was related to everyone because there was a lot of inbreeding.
True.
Two, he owns a house in Transylvania.
Nah.
That's it. That's it.
Cut dry, hook, line, and sinker. That's
He's
all.
a vampire. Another one. Queen Elizabeth I. Really a dude. Not a lady. Only reason? How could a woman be that successful? That's literally the only reasoning.
Oh my god, that's hysterical.
Princess Diana and Prince Charles have a secret daughter.
Okay.
That's
not that outlandish.
Yeah. Yeah, so, the Queen Elizabeth apparently
Queen
had
Diana
eggs,
was the one that was randomly murdered, right?
in a car accident.
Okay.
So, yes.
Oh, yeah, conspiracy.
Yeah.
I meant to say conspiracy theory that she was murdered by the Queen.
The Queen. So,
Queen.
the idea is that the Queen had eggs implanted into Diana with Prince Charles's sperm. The daughter's name is Sarah and lives in a small New England town in the United States.
How convenient
Another
for her.
one, Queen Elizabeth is an alien.
Oh God. Let's hear it.
There's only one. There's not even any evidence. There's just like, she's an alien type called an Anukai, aka lizard people. So that's just, I think that's just part of the overarching.
So I can expand on that conspiracy a little bit because I did read up onto that one because it's what I was originally gonna do. The whole lizard people conspiracy theory, that is. So that kind of ties into Hollow Earth. And so what happened is that a bunch of dinosaurs were able to survive the asteroid hitting, and, you know, that mass extinction event because they wandered into tunnels that led to the Hollow Earth. And so they've had millions upon million years to evolve past humans, right? So that made them super hyper intelligent, and they burrowed out from under the ground. And they have shape-shifting capabilities that we can't even imagine. And you know what their plan is? Is to slowly enslave us over, you know, thousands of years. That's it. That's all they just want to enslave humanity. And that kind of ties into the Illuminati, because a lot of tin heads believe that the Illuminati are the lizard people. So I would say, if a race of, you know, basically alien creatures were to be millions of years more advanced than us, why are they trying to take us over slowly and subtly? Why don't they just do a hostile takeover?
Good point. Okay, apparently, you know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
So apparently, them, I just...
Brain fart.
No, not brain fart.
Oh, you need a second.
A disbelief. So, apparently, it's a British ploy for Meghan and Harry to have a kid on American soil, therefore he's American. Then he'll run for president, and then they'll use that to take over the American throne for Britain again.
What?
Hey,
Yes.
man, that's like the long con. Kudos.
Yes. Even though the fact that they're already disinherited by the royal throne, meaning that he could no longer be
King.
a king, that's not an issue.
Now, what about if the son did that to upset the plans? Prince, whatever the fuck, Harry, isn't it?
Well, no, the entire point of it was so that they could, because if he was still the prince, he couldn't move to America.
Oh, I see.
Because I believe he was the crown prince.
But he doesn't need to move to America. His wife just needs to go there, squirt the child out on American soil, and then she's good.
Well, yeah. But if he disavows his
Yeah, and
British
then what I was
ancestry-
saying is, what about if he did that to upset their plans?
Well, yeah.
Because he's like, fuck you, Mom and Dad, I'm not going to be a part of the Illuminati.
One of the biggest ones is that
Most.
the Princess Diana was murdered by the Queen to prevent her from marrying her current boyfriend.
Yeah,
was a
that's
Muslim.
one that I heard.
Yeah.
Everyone remember that?
Wasn't that her daughter?
Yeah, so that was her daughter, and the theory
Savage.
is she married a Muslim, and the Queen of Elizabeth was like, "Nuh-uh,
No.
I'm not having a Muslim grandchild," and just said goodbye.
Huh. See, that puts in a whole different perspective, because I didn't think she was the child of Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That's some dark shit.
That's,
You want to talk about the Hitler in Argentina one, or do you want to wait?
I think we need to save that one,
Agreed.
because that one's kind of outrageous.
I actually don't think it's that outrageous. I kind of buy
Well,
into that one a little.
I mean, considering we found his dead body.
Did we find his dead body, or did the
I
Russians?
personally, did we find
Okay,
his
but
dead
why would the Russians sequester him away?
Why do the Russians do 90% of the thing the Russians do?
No. The Russians absolutely hated the Germans. They have since the beginning of time.
All I'm
They
saying,
despise the Germans with the biggest hate boner I've ever seen.
All I'm saying is that the Russians aren't the most honest of folk.
Yeah, but why would they protect someone who literally invaded their country and slaughtered millions of innocents?
So that way they could later kill themselves.
But then why didn't they just kill him then?
Because it wasn't his corpse. So his corpse they
What?
found... Okay, so the corpse they found in the bunker was a decoy. Was a lookalike. Because, you know, Hitler has done that quite a few times. He's had body doubles and all of that. And so the Russians got the bodies, and they, like, just kept it under lock and key. And then a few, like, years later, they did a biopsy or whatever, and then found out that one of the bodies they found wasn't even Hitler. I mean, it wasn't, obviously one of the bodies wasn't male. That one of the bodies was female. Both the bodies were female, sorry. I keep forgetting that there's two bodies. Ow, ow, I'm burning. Fucking Christ. But, they later came out and said that. And so the whole like theory behind it is that Stalin knew about them having a lot of land in Argentina because that was their bailout plan. There are a bunch of like wealthy Germans out in Argentina, which a lot of people believe that to be like a Nazi retreat, if you will, from World War II. And so the reason Stalin let them go is because he wanted to hunt Hitler down later and have, you know, air quotations, kill him himself, but he would use
Why not
his
just
KGB.
torture the Germans to get the information and then kill Hitler then?
I don't know. Doesn't even talk about anything like that. Interesting, whack conspiracy.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of gold that they got away with. Air quotations got away with. A lot of unchecked gold. But there's also a theory going around that America stole that shit.
Well, on some theories I've heard is that they gave it to Switzerland because they were a neutral party.
Ah, I see.
And that's where the Swiss gold reserves come from.
Maybe the Swiss have something to do with the Illuminati.
Well, the reason the Germans got all that gold is because they smelted down all the Jewish jewelry. And then from all of the plunder they got from Poland and all that.
They got lots of gold.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most likely outcome with the gold?
I think they probably just spirited it away or it got taken up by the Swiss. Either that or it's just locked in some bunker by accident and they can't get into it.
They can't find it. It's hidden.
Yeah. Well, because if you ever, like, what is it? There's a French field, like, where one of the times it was shelled in World War I, and they're still finding shells there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, buried it in some random pit to keep the Allies from getting it, and it's still just vibing there.
Hold on, I am going to hop out of Mordhau real quick.
Hop on what?
Hop out of
out.
Mordhau real quick.
Ah.
Nande so. 4K.
Because I'm doing something.
Unacceptable.
I shall
Let's not do
rejoin.
things.
You'll lose the gold.
That's fine.
Captain Carrot is getting gang fucked. Any other whack conspiracies that come to mind?
The only other really dumb ones and stuff like,
Flat Earth.
yeah.
I love the
I just
flat
don't know
Earth theory.
how that happened.
Because people are retarded. I
you're not wrong.
honestly don't even like. I think that started as a meme on 4chan and it just spiraled out of control.
Yeah. Another one, the moon landing was faked.
That's a pretty funny one.
Because for it, so if you look at the pictures of the moon landing, the shadows are perpendicular.
Yeah.
Which you can only get if the light is extremely far away or you have a laser.
Huh.
And do you know how much it would have cost
Did
to
you get
build a laser
back
set
then?
to do that?
Probably
like
fucking
3
expensive.
times the amount it would take to fly to the moon.
Huh.
So it's more logical and more cost effective to just send someone to the moon.
Not
than it
unless
would
they
have
had
been.
help from aliens to help them
Yeah,
build
of
that
course.
laser.
But then at that point, why not just have the aliens get you to the moon?
True.
Fly me to the moon. Fly me to the moon.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars.
Who sings that?
A dude from the 50s.
Dude, there were so many weird one-hit wonders back then.
Yeah.
One really weird song, or one band that I really wish didn't do a one-hit wonder, but they have some really good songs, is Trapped. They're the band that did Headstrong.
Oh.
They're
Yeah.
good, but they're only known for that one song.
That's not like a one-hit wonder though, or like bands that do one song and then disappear.
Well, no, they're also bands that get really popular because of one song, and that
Oh.
only song is the only song that's popular.
People know about them.
Uh-huh.
Can I just talk about how I actually like low-key love Nickelback? Like-
Nickelback is a meme band, but they're really good too.
I think they're highly underrated. There are like,
Well-
yeah, there are a few songs that sound rather close to the same as each other, but AC/DC has that same problem, and many people consider AC/DC to be like one of the greatest rock bands ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they like their guitar riffs are fairly repetitious.
I don't know. It is interesting though.
Songs.
Stinks. Apparently the server is now full, so I cannot join.
Ah, it is full. That's why you don't
Yes.
leave.
I was doing something. Oh, I need to turn my capture back on.
Rip.
No one can see the game. Alright, come back. Come back, capture.
Now, the true question is, are you floor gang or ceiling gang?
Floor
What?
gang, all the way.
But I
No,
am
it's
ceiling
chair
gang.
gang.
I am
Chair
ceiling
gang.
gang because I am tall boy.
I'm dead gang.
You are what?
Dead gang.
Gundam Brothers.
Speed on
Spe-
them.
Oh,
That would be a
okay.
funny meme to research.
I would.
speaking-
I would hate if that meme was
Speaking of dead memes, what's your favorite dead meme?
Ooh.
The solely going.
That's still not dead. It's just very. It's
That's like a reaction meme. Like it doesn't like the Uganda Knuckles was like a meme theme. Do you know what I mean?
I see.
I'm trying to think of one. I was thinking about the other day, and I wanted to make a resurface. You know, just as a blanket statement, Rage Comics. That's a meme that thing you should probably bring back.
Rage
Yeah,
comics
yeah.
doesn't ring bell.
The basic like why you do this, the troll face.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get
all
that.
of those are the Rage face comics.
Honestly,
There's
like
someone making a resurgence, but like HD quality. By the way, I made a meme. I want you guys to be proud of my meme.
Send
I
it in the
barely
chat.
read it, but it's in the Facebook. Server is full. Recharge.
yeah, no one's left yet.
Tell someone to leave.
Someone will leave. Hopefully. Oh, someone left. Jeremy, now's your
Oh,
chance.
Join.
I'm joining.
Go, 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 go.
Ah! Ah!
If you join back in, you actually should be able to get the gold you got earlier.
I
Well, I
it's
still
just
have
it's
my
never
loot.
worked for me.
Oh,
You might still have your weapons.
I
No,
don't have
I
my
don't.
loot.
Yeah,
Oh. It worked for me once. I don't know why.
probably
'Cause
because you DC'd or something. I don't know. I,
Also,
it's
probably
literally
because
never
you
done
weren't
it for
waiting
me.
for someone else to load back in.
I don't know if I have heavy armor. Head.
Let us look at Jeremy's meme. I almost said let us leave. Well, no.
Oh.
So is this implying that the wildfires in Australia were caused by a gender reveal party?
Yes.
Okay. I just had to confirm that. Ape,
So you
not
guys
ape
you
slime
guys
is
know
not
why there's so many forest fires, right?
Because it's dry.
Well, no, because Texas has the exact same climate
They don't have
and
the
number of
foliage.
trees. The biggest reason is in 150 years ago, California got a bunch of eucalyptus trees from Australia as like a gift. And do you know what eucalyptus trees produce? A highly flammable oil once they're mature. So basically, they planted a bunch of gas pumps and are now surprised that they catch on fire.
Wait, where
Also-
are you guys? Oh, I see Drew.
Also, California didn't do any controlled burns this year, which are extremely important for keeping forest fires from happening.
I've actually seen some theories out there that people have been running around with blowtorches starting fires, and like the only thing I could think of why to do that is for like political discourse.
Yeah.
I don't know though. That's a fairly whack one. Bonk.
Swine behind you.
Right click F1, F2, F3, F4. Oh. Do you not have options enabled?
Do you not hear me?
No. Oh, it's because
Oh,
I
you
have
can't hear-
music turned off.
What were you telling him to do?
Oh, I actually can't hear you. Are you
Can't
just
either.
strumming away randomly?
Huh?
Are you just strumming away?
No, I'm not. I started a loot bot. I got a loot
Oh.
bot going.
What are you playing?
It's Take Me Home, Country Roads.
Well, no.
Where are you? I need to hear this.
I'm
Take
over
me
in like that cheese spot.
I don't know why I
Jesus,
can't hear
man.
you. Oh, I can barely hear you now.
Well, I'm not even playing now. No, I am.
Oh, did y'all see the second Kingsman?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't hear you.
Really? That's weird.
I should be able to hear you through the effect sounds, but I'm not.
Huh. Where's the ape?
Oonga Boonga Ape?
Unga bunga?
He's
I'm coming.
coming.
Play it.
I am playing it.
I don't hear it.
Why
And
can't
it
I
doesn't
see
look like your fingers are moving. Oh yeah, you're not playing it. Because I can hear you now.
Yeah.
I can hear it on my side. That's weird.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Maybe you downloaded Bad 1?
Well, this is on the forums on Mordhau.
Huh. Do you trust the people of Reddit, to be honest?
It's on the website of Mordhau. It's not
Oh.
I saw
Wolfman, go
that.
fly!
I saw that.
That's what the stick does now.
Yeah, there are Sumerian weapons that just do janky shit.
Take me home.
Country roads.
Why'd you
To
go
the place.
Scottish?
Because he's talking about the Kingsman.
Oh.
I haven't seen the movie, but I saw that clip.
I watched it, but I watched it on a plane ride, so I don't know if that counts.
Oh god, he just got launched into the air. Take me home, country roads.
If you were to get into what's the biggest animal you think you could take in a 1v1? No weapons, just bare
Like,
knuckle.
just
Chicken.
fist fight? I am.
Well, not a fist fight, but you could like grapple it and shit.
Well, that's a fist fight, but
You're just-
Probably a pig.
It's not a fist
I think I
fight.
could fuck up a pig.
honestly, I think,
You're drawing your line at a pig?
yeah, I was thinking like maybe a medium-sized dog.
What
think
do you
I-
think, Parker?
I think I could take a fairly big dog.
Yeah.
Like, my roommate's
Same
pit
too.
bull, I think I would have been able to choke that fucker out. Well, I actually have choked that fucker out, but I think I could have, like, broken its neck and killed it.
I
Dude, that
Just
dog
grab
was
its-
being an asshole and, like, lunged at me, so I put it in a fucking headlock and put it to sleep. The pit bull was aggressive as fuck. Like, that dog should have been put down. Never got socialized ever, it got abused, and it's, like, a super, super fucking mean dog. Like, it would sit outside my room and just bark at me as if, like, my door was closed. Try and, like, break through my fucking door. Fuck that
Jeremy,
dog.
are you playing the song?
No, I'm trying to figure out the soundboard XML. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not appearing or why it's not working. And open the team selection, and when I press play, the team has response keys except for check that.
Was the round waste always 32?
Yeah.
I thought it was
On
higher.
the hardcore, no. 20, it was 28 and 32.
Oh, that's right.
Why do you have Zweihander?
Done.
Why you drop Zweihander? Oh, fuck.
Oh god, I just got messed up.
Same. Is Jeremy dead?
No, man.
Oh,
He's
there's
trying
just a
to
shield bro just sitting right in front of you looking at you. Oh, he got you.
I can play the song, but I'm dead. I don't know what's causing it. Why can't? I honestly thought that was a player, to be honest.
This feels bad. Round's gonna end. Or game's gonna end.
Oh, okay. So they're just gonna give a Hextech Proto Belt to ADCs. Nice.
Huh. So this patch is gonna be very nice for ADCs.
Yeah.
They're granting.
Which
It
map do you want
looks
to go
like
Crossroads or Castello.
they're granting what's the Sterix gauge
Huh.
to
ADCs.
to? Well, they already
ADCs.
had that with Phantom Dancer.
Yeah. But now it actually gives them health. Or I guess it's just to get big shield. I guess it's just a rework of Phantom Nets or disregard.
Oh, when you said Sterix Gauge, I thought you meant Titanic or Tiamat.
Yeah, they already tried that with the mini Rage Blade rework they did for a bit.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember that? When Kog'Maw used to have the team effect on his auto attacks with the
Oh,
Rage Blade?
yeah, I remember that now. That was during a period when I didn't play.
Okay, so there's a tank item that gives you 75% movement speed when running towards enemies or enemy turrets.
Huh.
And once you get near them, it releases a shockwave that slows enemy movement speed by 75% for 2 seconds.
What the fuck? For 2
Yeah.
seconds?
Yep.
So champions
Yeah,
like
dude,
Set
that
are
was
just gonna be
the item I was
retarded.
talking about. That's gonna be amazing
Yep.
for Scion.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, Duskblade now gives invisibility for 1.5 seconds
After a kill, yeah.
after a kill.
So my only question is what the fuck's going through Riot's head?
Hitting a champion, so this is an Eclipse item. Hitting a champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals bonus physical damage equal to 16% of their max health. And you gain 30% move speed, 150 plus 80% bonus attack damage shield.
What the fuck?
100 plus 60%, so it's and 160% for ranged champions. There's Assassination, so this is Prowler's Claw. Dash through target enemy, dealing 100 to 200 damage, plus 45% of attack damage as physical damage, and reducing their armor by 30%.
What the fuck?
Uh,
So Kane's gonna be overpowered.
oh, Jesus Christ. Leandri's Anguish. Your spells cause enemies to burn for 60, plus 10% ability power, plus 4% of the target's maximum health, magic damage over 4 seconds. Also, it shreds their magic resistance by 5% per second for 4 seconds, up to 25%.
So what I'm hearing are the tanks are not gonna exist.
Yeah, tanks are dead.
Dead on arrival.
Yeah. So literally, most of the champions I play, goodbye. Thanks for playing.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
But it sounds like bruisers are gonna become decent.
Yeah. Hextech Protobell is the same, except you now also get a movement speed buff afterwards.
That's gonna be gay on Fizz.
What the Okay. Almrock's Volley. For each second in champion combat, deal 3% bonus damage, max 15% damage. While this effect is maxed, convert 100% of the bonus damage to true damage.
What?
Yeah, so basically you just get 15% extra 2 damage just for having this item.
Stonks. Oh my god, dude, that game's gonna die. They're honestly trying to kill it. They're trying to make it way too noob friendly, and it's gonna kill it.
Gore Drinker. I think this is replacing Blood Drinker,
Chalice.
or whatever that. Yeah. Active. Deal 110% of your attack damage in physical damage to enemies in a circle. Recover 20% of your attack damage health,
Sounds
plus
like a new
12%
Bloodthirster.
missing health for each champion that you hit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so basically, press this button, heal to full, if you're in a team fight.
That's gonna be good on Aatrox.
Gain 1% an increased attack damage for every 5% of your missing health.
How do you think they'll revert this, or do you think they'll just let it kill?
Oh, I think they'll revert this. I don't think this is going to stand very long. Yeah, I don't... another dash item, by the way, Stride Breaker. Lunge at a target, deal 110% total attack damage of physical damage to enemies in a circle, slowing them by 60%, decaying over 2 seconds.
Interesting.
So a dash and a slow. Another anti-take item I want to point out. After using an ability, your next attack deals bonus physical damage equal to 6% of your max health. When it hits an enemy, heal for 60% of the damage amount.
Stonks.
Yeah, it's just...
Not gonna be fun.
Oh my god. The Collector. If you deal damage that would leave an enemy below 5% health, kill them.
Huh.
Kills grant you an additional 25 gold.
So it just literally executes them and pays you for it.
Yep. You can now just get an execute on anyone.
So
Your
Call is
critical
gonna be
strikes
fun.
with attacks reduce your non-ultimate ability cooldowns by 20% of their remaining cooldown.
Wait, Jeremy, turn around. I still don't hear it. And you're not strumming.
Hello?
Hello?
I've goddamn. Okay. So it does seem like every character is broken. So that's what I've been watching videos and people playing it on PBE. Like every character's broken now. Like Aatrox was destroying a game with one of
Yeah.
the new items.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Another item. Dealing ability damage to a champion causes them to take 2% of their max health as magic damage every second for 4 seconds. You gain 20 armor and magic resist while enemies are afflicted. Plus 5 for each additional champion afflicted.
Yeah, I'm not going to be playing that game a whole lot. I'm probably not going to be playing that game at all anymore, to be honest. I might come
Yeah,
back and
if
play
these
it here and
changes
there,
go
but
through, like, it's actually retarded.
not the fun.
And no one wants it either.
No. All right, I'm gonna end it here. My head's starting to hurt.